Hey, what's the deal, y'all? It's your boy Big Star. Raw Sports Legends Week, man. This week has been crazy, man. Tonight, we definitely not slowing up. We got my man KHALIF WYATT, one of the prides of Norristown High School, man. Went on to have an amazing career at Temple. Mr. Big Shot, man. Played professionally. He just has an amazing, dynamic story, man. He has a business that he's running. So many different things, man. I'm sure you guys had actually saw recently. He was he participated in the TBT tournament. Had definitely had some classic highlights, man. As soon as my man Leaf joins us, man, it's definitely going down, man. But until he joins, just want to mention a few things. All of the previous, if you guys have been following along with the Legends Week series, all the previous interviews are on the website already, rawsports.tv, and the YouTube channel. So the Kareem Rab Towns interview from last night, I pulled that down already. That's up on the YouTube channel. Okay, got my man Leaf Buck in the building. It's about to go down. Hey, Leaf, if you watching, send me the request to join so I can pull you on the screen so we can get this thing started. It's Legends Week, man. Season 5 is going down. It's definitely going down. And y'all know the format. We're going to open up. I'm going to just, go over some housekeeping things. We're going to get into 10 random questions with my little bro, Leaf WYATT. We're going to get into his story. And at the very end, we'll have a nice little Q&A for anybody watching who wants, who has some questions for Leaf. All right, here we go. Little bro,
Yo,
what's good, champ? How you doing, man?
chilling out, man. Chilling out. Can't complain.
I got you. Good to, it's glad to have you on, man. So thankful that you can join us tonight for Legends Week, man. You already know the drill. You know the format, man. Here at Legends Week, it's all about two things, Leaf. Just, this is my contribution to help, just doing my part to solidify your legacy. I never want anyone, you're still currently playing, you know what I mean? Still, like with the TBT, you know what I'm saying? So you're still currently fresh in people's minds. You know what I mean? Highlights. So people are, you're definitely still relevant now. But this is just my contribution to solidifying your legacy, man, so that no one ever forgets about KHALIF WYATT. Everything that you've given to the game so far, in high school, at college, at Temple. I just never want anyone to forget about your legacy, man, or forget about your contribution to the game. So this is just my gesture to say thank you, man. And also, what I do with the younger athletes. Currently, promoting younger athletes. This also serves as an educational tool to educate these younger generation, these younger kids on guys who've come before them, who've paved the way, guys that they definitely need to pay homage to, man. So that's what it's all about here on Legends Week, man. Thank you so much for joining us, man. And, if you don't got anything to say, man, we're just going to jump right into it.
No, thanks for having me. I'm on live with Big Star.
You already know. Just to let everybody know, this is a little bro right here. So this is super special, man. This is my little bro. So this is super, super special, man. So these interviews are interesting. Like when I interviewed Mark, Mark Green, little bro, Mark Green. I have to try to conduct these interviews as if I don't know a lot about you. So I'm gonna just try to flush my mind of me knowing anything about you, and I'm gonna just go into it neutral. All right.
Right.
All right. So 10 random questions. 10 random things. I'm gonna just throw 10 random things that just kind of get us started. Favorite cartoon or TV show growing up?
Favorite cartoon or TV show growing up? I would say Recess.
Recess.
Recess. Yeah,
No
it was
doubt.
always on TV. As soon as you get out of school, it was on. So that's what I was watching.
100%. No doubt. Most points you ever put up in the box score in the game at like college, summer league, high school, anything, pro, anything.
There would have to be some. I don't think I ever scored 40 points in a game. As crazy as that may sound. Yeah, I don't think I ever scored 40. It'd probably be somewhere in the high 30s somewhere.
Got you.
As a kid
All
or
right.
something.
Well, two-part question. This is always interesting. Like when you would go over to the scorebook and look at the stats, if that was, if you ever did that, what would be more impressive to you? 40 points, 15 assists, 20 rebounds, or like 8 steals. Like what's a more impressive stat for you? Like what would get you more excited?
Right. The most important stat for me was always the win. Was if we won or lost.
No doubt.
That was first and foremost. And And then, yeah, first I would probably look at points. I've always been a scorer my whole life, so I
Hmm.
usually gauge how good a game I had on if we won and how many points I scored.
Got you, solid. It's
Yeah.
summertime, so what's on your plate? What do you just pretend you had a summertime plate, at a cookout? What's on your plate normally?
Well, I'm a pescatarian, but I've been pescatarian for about 4 years now. So
Got you.
I'm gonna hope we throw some salmon on the grill. I go with a little Beyond Burger or something like that. Then I can always do the sides with the potato salad.
No doubt.
Whatever sides we got, pasta salad, seafood salad.
No doubt. No
So
doubt.
I'm heavy sides at the cookout right now. Heavy sides.
Heavy on. Well, you don't even need no meat or nothing. You can pretty much get it done at any cookout just on sides and be rocking.
Definitely. I've been figuring that out for the last like 4 years. They
100%.
always like, we don't got nothing for you here. I'm like, oh, no, I got something for me.
Y'all got sides. We good money.
Absolutely.
What's the food you absolutely hate that you will never eat? Like you just will never do it, if there is one.
Yeah, I can't think of one. I'm pretty much open to try anything, and I haven't came across something that I'm like, oh, I just hate that. Pork. I don't want no pork. I've never eaten no pork.
Got you. Coming up, was there any like coming up in the Norristown area? Who amongst your peers or any players a couple years ahead of you were kind of inspirational to you? Guys you looked up to, kind of admired their games, people that kind of motivated you.
Right. I told this story before. It was a kid named Carell Johnson from
Hmm.
Norristown,
Hmm.
who
Oh man, for sure,
who
Corral, for
who
sure.
was super 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 talented. And I don't know if guys remember, we used to get the PAL schedule. Like you used to get the schedule for the league, and you'd be like 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4. Like you get
Yeah.
your schedule and you highlight your games in one color. Like my mom, we would go through it and we would highlight all our games in one color. But in another color, on the same schedule, I would highlight Carell's games to make sure that like I was at the park to see Carell when he was playing. Like so, I like highlighted my games in one color and Carell games in another color, and like I would go down there and just like watch and like go crazy.
No doubt, no doubt. Besides basketball, what are some other sports that you played growing up?
So I never played any other sport. I never put the pads on. I never played baseball. Never played soccer. I've only ever played basketball.
No doubt, no doubt. Um, who's like another at any level question? Summer league, college, high school. What's one of the toughest players you ever had to guard and defend? You think?
Guard. It was a kid named Chaz Williams. He played at
Hmm.
UMass. He was a smaller guard. And I just remember every time we played against him, like he was just. First of all, I'm not a super fast guard, and he was just 5'8", 5'9", like, real similar to Marcus,
Gotcha.
super fast,
Hmm.
and he was just always a handful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's of all time some of your or one of your favorite sports related movies?
Sports related movies, I'm gonna say my favorite sports related movie of all time is Above the Rim. Above the Rim, yeah, Kylie Watson, go to Georgetown. That's my yeah. That was my favorite movie growing up.
No doubt.
Basketball movie, and that's still probably my favorite basketball movie.
Gotcha. Favorite NBA player growing up? Who'd you like? Either during your era
Allen
or old
Iverson.
school or anything.
Yeah, growing up, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson all the way. Watched every game, as many games as I could. Uh, Everything was all about AI from my whole childhood
No
up
doubt.
until LeBron. Up until LeBron.
No doubt. Lastly, when your playing career, finally, comes, as far as professionally and all that kind of stuff is kind of, that chapter of your life is kind of to the side. Could you ever see yourself coaching high school, college, or anything like that? Is that something that's kind of in the back of your mind at all?
So it's funny. I had got injured in 2017,
Hmm.
and when I got injured in 2017, I started thinking like, oh, like, what can I do after basketball and stuff like that. So I was like coaching. I actually had a team down Oak Street, and I was
Okay.
coaching.
Yeah.
And what I realized from when I was coaching is that it wasn't for me, and that it just
Okay.
didn't have. You just didn't have enough. I just didn't have enough control, like over like the players and what we were doing. So like literally like right after that experience, I was like, no, it's probably not coaching for me. It's gonna be something else. It's gonna be
Yeah.
something else. But something around the game for sure. Something around
Gotcha.
helping the
Yeah.
game grow, helping kids grow, helping young players grow. But
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
probably it most likely won't be coaching.
No doubt. Well, I mean, the perfect marriage, and correct me if I'm wrong, and just something to think about. This is just kind of what I see in you.
Mm-hmm.
You played the game, you have all this knowledge, and you're a businessman. You
Mm-hmm.
know, right down the middle is the business of basketball.
Right.
Tons of
Absolutely.
opportunities when you talk about the business of basketball, behind the scenes, doing something. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind, man, because you're a great
No,
business.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure, for sure. We're gonna get right into it, man. Like I told all the other legends, man. I don't want to pigeonhole or kind of get in the way of you telling your story. So I just want to give you the freedom just to kind of go, man. And I'll interject, whenever I need to, with questions or whatever. But just start us from the beginning, man. Just reintroduce yourself to the people, and just start us at the very beginning of where this KHALIF WYATT story begins, man.
Yep, so I'm KHALIF WYATT from Norristown, Pennsylvania, born and raised in Norristown. I grew up right on Arch and Oak Street, right across the street from the legendary Oak Street Park.
For sure.
I always tell people that I could hear basketballs bouncing from my porch. Like, so I always heard, like, I had access to it at a young age, a lot of access to it. So that's one thing that helped me a lot growing up, is that I could play whenever I wanted, pretty much. Uh, so yeah, that's where it started, right there, Arch and Oak. That park across the street, Oak Street Park. Just going over there and just. I always tell people it didn't matter how many people were there. If it was 4 people there, we were gonna play some 2-on-2. If it was, we were just fine. We were playing rough house. Sometimes you weren't on the court. You had to watch. With older guys playing, you had to just watch, which I
No
also
doubt.
enjoyed. Which I also enjoyed doing. Uh, so yeah, it started
No,
right there, Oak Street
no,
Park.
no doubt. When did you said that basketball was the only sport that you played. So internally, like when you think about when you kind of reflect back over your life, at what point did you realize that you really loved basketball? Oh, shout out to another legend. We got Shiz Austin in the building.
Young Shiz.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Got to get you on, Shiz. I'm gonna be calling you next, big dog. Got to get you on, man. Um, yeah. When did you realize that you loved basketball and you really had that fire and that passion for it, like separate from people, any family members kind of pushing you towards it, like your own internal motivation towards hoops?
All right, so I got an older brother. He's 8 years older than me, and he's a basketball junkie. Like, all he did was watch basketball, talk about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He played basketball. He didn't play past high school, but he played basketball, and he just always talked about basketball. It always was on TV. That was what pretty much our relationship was based around. I was a kid, and he was a basketball junkie, so I was following everything that he did. I would go with him to practice. I would go to him whatever he was doing basketball related. So amongst that, I just was watching a lot of basketball, and I was falling in love with it at that time. 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, I was watching a lot of basketball. I was around the game a lot due to my brother, and yeah, from there, of course, I would pick up the basketball and just throw it around. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
If it was at practice or anything like that. So I just was around the game at a young age, and I had somebody who was a little older than me who actually had knowledge of the game and was like a real basketball fan. Like, we would watch basketball, and we wouldn't watch basketball the same way as I'm sure a lot of kids watch basketball today. Like, we would really watch it. Like
Gotcha.
you see him, he just did a left hand layup, or you see him
Gotcha.
step
Gotcha.
back jump shot. Like, so
Gotcha.
we actually watched basketball, and I was just around the game a lot at a young
Yeah.
age. So I
Yeah.
would say early, I started loving the game 4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah. Currently, like, right now, 2020, regarding developing, young kids, whether it's your child or whatever, parents getting their kids trainers, and they got the cones and the skills and drills, all that kind of stuff going on. But during your era, and when you were coming up, like, how did you in particular, like, develop your game? Was it just playing, just at the park playing, until you got
Right.
on teams and were able to be coached by coaches, or you were one of those kids who had a trainer and all that kind of stuff? Or how was it for you coming up and developing?
No, definitely didn't have any skills trainers. Yeah, me personally, I learned by playing all the time, played all the time. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
literally, if it wasn't snow out there, we were playing. So we
Mm-hmm.
played a lot, and me personally, I watched basketball all the time. Like, I watched a lot. I watched a lot more basketball. I believe probably, I played a lot too, but I believe I watched more than I even played, and I played a lot too. But I know I watched a lot of basketball, and I
Gotcha.
was able to, like, get out there and actually, like, try things that I was seeing.
Mm-hmm. What type of so describe once you were in your groove, like definitely in your, when you, all right. I'm gonna ask the question before I'm gonna ask this one. At what point did you realize that you were pretty good and were kind of becoming a little bit better than, kind of your peers, and kind of, going raising up a little bit?
So young, because I told you I watched so much basketball, my basketball IQ was always leaps and bounds ahead of my peers. I was
Gotcha.
always like, even like with like 6, 7, 8, I would always get a lot of steals just because
Okay.
like I knew where they're about to pass the ball. Like
Gotcha.
I was just a little bit ahead mentally and IQ
Hmm.
wise. So I knew I was good in that point, but I was always behind physically. Like for me
Okay.
personally, I was never the most fastest, jump the highest or anything like that. But I always had a high basketball IQ,
Hmm.
and I was always super like just super confident and super like just confident in what I knew, and my basketball IQ really got me over a lot early,
Got you. So
and still now.
and what was else? What else?
I said early, and I mean like it still gets me past now my
No
basketball
doubt.
IQ.
100%. 100%. Um, so describe your game, some of the like describe your game, your style of player, some of the things that coaches appreciated about you in college and high school and all that kind of stuff. Like when you were on the floor doing your thing, describe yourself.
Well, I've always been a high level scorer. I've always been able to score the ball, make tough shots, make plays. I just said I have a high basketball IQ, so I always, even though I've always been the leading scorer on most of the teams I've been on, I've always been like fun to play with and unselfish. And a lot of times I'll make the right play. Uh, but yeah, I'm just a scorer, crafty playmaker. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the most athletic, but I just find a lot of different ways to put the ball in the hole, and I've been having fun scoring baskets for a long time now.
No doubt. One thing you just reminded me of something. Before I get to my next question, you almost like I'm sure this theme followed you throughout your career, hashtag Mr. Big Shot, or like kind of like Robert Ory, like, and do you like? And I would see you a lot with that showmanship, that attitude. When you throw up a three and you kind of slouch down, wait for it to go in. All that kind of like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like that. What some kids would see like guys like Steph Curry doing. It's kind of living for those big moments, man. Like talk about that for a second, man. And then when did you develop that thing that
Right.
I'm trying to describe?
Right. I give a lot of that credit to O Street Park, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if guys remember. Well, I'm sure Norristown guys remember for sure. But one of the big things down O Street was always playing pig and playing pig for money
Got you.
and
Oh,
things like
100%.
that.
100%.
Right. So I kind of give my clutch gene to Oak Street and saying like, yeah, we was playing like I was a 13-year-old kid shooting pig for $5, and $5 was a lot to me at that time.
100%.
And I'm not trying to lose this $5 or this $20 or whatever it may be, and I'm making big shot after big shot and winning the pig or something like that. So that's where I give that as far as the clutch gene too. Like I give a lot of that to Oak Street, and those were like real pressure. Like people talk about pressure shots. Those was real pressure shots. Like
No
those was
doubt.
pressure shots.
So
So I
that's
give a
what
lot of that to
grew.
that. And then
So see
another
what
part is
that's
just
what.
actually wanting to be on that stage. I played in a lot of big arenas, a lot of big games, and actually want like as I said, I watched basketball early. So I watched games at Madison Square Garden. I watched games at Cameron Indoors. I've actually put myself in those situations. Like wow, like the crowd's on top of you. Like what do you like? So actually wanting that and then going out there and taking advantage when it actually gets there.
Yeah, for sure. So take me into we're gonna talk about high school and college. We're gonna kind of break them down in sections. But first, I want to talk about any memories, some of your most memorable summer league experiences. Whether like it was like in the Norristown area summer league, any Philly area summer leagues, just any summer league memories you remember. Some big games, players you played against, summer league.
Okay, so one of the first travel teams I played on was a team called the Norristown Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Mike Curlow, great guy, first guy to ever take us around
Mike
the
Pounds,
Tri-State
that's my
area.
big bro, Mike Pounds.
Great guy, great guy. So he took us a lot of places, but one of the places he took us that was special for me in particular was it was 52nd Street, it was YMCA in West Philly,
Mm-hmm. And then
and
now was this
man,
kind of
like
AAU thing or just like a little summer league kind of thing?
it was a rest in peace to Paul Gripper.
Mm-hmm.
It was Paul Gripper's. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It was a league. It
Okay,
was a
just a little
league.
league that y'all was playing in down
Yeah, it
there.
was a league of
Gotcha.
teams made up around the area,
Okay.
and we were in the league. But there were a lot of guys in the league. Thinking back, I know Maurice Watson was a young kid. Ty Garland, Jabril Treywick. It was so many people. I'm trying to think. Mike Kidd Gilchrist.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of players. So I just remember going down there. I want to say it was like Saturdays and Sundays, and that was like the highlight of our week. Like we go down there, we play a game or two, and like we knew we was about to play against somebody really good, and we was about to play with some of these kids from the city, and we was about to have fun, and we was about to compete, and we really looked forward to it. We packed ourselves up and like explore about 7, 8 deep, and we go down there and we compete, man. And they really like that's when, for me personally, people would always respect like Norristown. We come down there and we really held our own as far as Norristown basketball comes.
Got you. So, and when you got older, what was some like around what, just to kind of put it in perspective, around what age or grade or year was that when y'all was going down there?
This is sixth grade,
Okay.
sixth, 7th grade. Yeah.
Gotcha. So as you had gotten older, like toward like high school, were you playing in summer leagues around that time as well, or did you transition to AAU or what?
Yeah, so Norristown Knights was my first AAU team up until 8th grade. When Coach Mike went back to Jamaica. So then I started playing with another coach named Rodney Westcott, who I was watching Kareem Towns interview yesterday, and he mentioned Rodney Westcott.
Okay.
Another great guy who was pivotal in my development personally. He was another one of the early guys. So something big for me early was guys who actually thought I was good, because I wasn't like this super athletic, super talented. Like I was talented, but I wouldn't jump off the page to anybody.
Gotcha.
Coach Mike Curlew was one of the first guys who was like, okay, he can be good. And then next was Rodney Westcott. And so he had a team called Philly Soul.
Okay.
We had a lot of local guys, Noradine Lindsay, Greg Robbins, Henry Smith. We had some good players, really talented team. I was probably like at that time, 9th grade, I was probably like the 7th, 8th best player on the team, like to everybody else. But Coach Rod would, we would go play all the Team Phillies versus the Malik Waynes and all that. Who else was good at that time? Youth Interlock was a good program at that time, like Sammy and Shannon Givens, or John Arnett had a team with Shannon and Sammy. But yeah, Coach Rod Westcott, I would travel around with him. I can't think of any tournament in particular. I just know that we were a really good team.
Yeah.
And that we had they were coming to see everybody but me on those teams.
Yeah. So you was pretty much just playing your role, just getting in where you fit in at that point, and just loving the game and accepting the mentoring and the guys that saw something in you.
Yep, I was being a great teammate. I'm still friends with a lot of those guys that I named who were highly touted at that time. I was still making big shots at big times at time of the game. They would leave the game like, okay, like I came to see such and such, but who was the little chubby kid? He was okay. Like, all right, I like him a little bit. So that's what I was doing. And even shout out to Coach Rod Westcott. All those All-Star games were going on at that time, like All City Classic, Eddie Griffin Challenge was big at that time. And Coach Rod, like I was like, they used to think I was his son. I don't care if I was invited to play in the Eddie Griffin Challenge or the All City Classic. Why wouldn't I be going to go watch
100%
all the best kids in my class? So in a lot of these situations, I would be an alternate player. Like I would be there with Coach Rod, and somebody wouldn't show up. I end up playing in the Eddie Griffin Challenge.
No doubt.
Or the
just from being hungry, wanting to be there. Because there's always that opportunity where somebody ain't showing it. They looking at you. Lee, yo, what size jersey you wear? You like, oh, bet. I got my
Coach
sneakers
Rod
on.
used to say, just bring your sneakers. So
Stay ready.
There was occasions when I just watched. But there was a lot of occasions where I had to go. I got my sneakers. And I told him, come on. And I just got to play in the All City Classic or the Eddie Griffin Challenge or whatever the All-Star. It was a Gym Rats thing or something like that. I ended up getting MVP of. I wasn't even supposed to be in it.
Wow. That's dope, man. That's dope. That's crazy right there. And what? Another thing I wanted to mention. You mentioned you alluded to just now. People saying, "Yo, who's that little husky kid?" You was a little chubby, little husky back then. Like you was Doughboy, and somebody nickname was Doughboy. People used to call you Doughboy.
Yeah, that's one of my first nicknames in town was Doughboy and Twan Talker. I was similar to Antoine Walker because of my build and my game, and I talked a lot. I was a showman. I talked a lot.
Yeah.
And they called me Twan Talker. Shout out to Sesh, actually. Sesh gave me that nickname.
Sesh Money, the nickname king. That's the on the microphone.
Twan Talker. He gave me Twan Talker. And Vinny Slab gave me Doughboy. That's Doughboy.
No doubt.
He still called me Doughboy. He probably one of the only people that still call me Doughboy. Doughboy for president.
No doubt. That's what's up, man. At what point did you become? At what point did you go from
the 7th or 8th man, you know, but to like the 5th guy, and now you're one of the guys. Like, yo, no, we need KHALIF. He's like our #1 guy. Like, at what point did you kind of get to that level?
Right. So in 10th grade, I slimmed out a little bit. I went to Norristown. My freshman year, I didn't go to Norristown. I went to North Catholic.
Okay.
When I was coming out of middle school, going to Norristown, it wasn't the thing. It wasn't like nobody wanted to go play at Norristown High. It was almost like if you go to Norristown High, you must not be highly touted coming out of middle school. So a lot of guys were going to Kenrick. A lot of guys were. Jamal Wilson went to Newman. Guys were going to like Germantown Academy and things like that. So I ended up getting a situation to go to North Catholic. It didn't work out just because of the travel. I was traveling super far. So I came back to Norristown, and in 10th grade, I got better. Shout out to Coach Bink and Coach. We had a strength and conditioning coach named Brower, who was really good. So I got some good shape, and I got to play. And then my sophomore year didn't go as it was planned. I ended up getting kicked off the team 3 games through my varsity season. For like, it was.
I didn't realize that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I ended up getting moved from varsity to JV after my 3rd game. So as a sophomore at Norristown, I was starting. I was the leading scorer through 3 games. Had 20 in 1 game. I probably averaged like 18, 19 through 3 games as a sophomore.
Got you.
And I don't know. So we're getting ready to go play a game, a Saturday night game versus Methacton. And we got shoot around that morning. And they didn't like my body. I guess the thing they guess I was like being big headed. They didn't like my body language at shoot around. It was looking back. It was tough because I never played varsity again my sophomore year. Like whatever this infraction was, this bad body language infraction my sophomore year, it led to me not playing another game of varsity. So that was hard. But I was already developing as a good player at that time because you wanted me to tell you when I was becoming a good player. And that's when I was becoming a good player. So I ended up finishing that whole year on JV.
Wow. So wait. So you first 3 games you're a starter, leading scorer. Then after that you get demoted and you're rocking out on JV.
All right. So there's a story. This is the story. I'm gonna tell a story. I'm gonna tell a story since I'm here with Big Star.
Let's give it up.
They say that I was first of all at Norristown High. You're a Norristown High grad, right, Big Star?
Yeah, 95, class of 95, blue and white all day long.
One of the things that we used to do at Norristown in homeroom is we would get the newspaper. Like in homeroom, we would get the newspaper. Like it was just like a thing that we did. Like see the front page, you go to the sports section every day.
Of course,
that's what we do at homeroom. So the story is, I just had a 20-point game, right? So I'm walking around school with the newspaper, boasting about my 20-point game. Which, first of all,
so wait, is this how the story goes, or is this your
this
version?
Is not the truth. So
okay,
I'm giving the story is.
I just want to get that clear. So
right,
this is how the story goes.
Is I get the right.
These are the allegations.
I get the newspaper every morning.
I understand.
And look at the front page in the sports section.
Gotcha.
Just so happens that this time in the sports section, I'm in it, and I had 20 points last game. So I'm walking around. So I do have a newspaper in my hand, walking around school.
Gotcha.
But it's not even. You can ask any of my friends; they would know it's not even in my character to be boasting about 20-point game. When I've been a scorer, and that's not even like me. That's not even something that I do.
Got you.
So they talking about he was on camera walking around with the newspaper and I was, and then I come to that Saturday morning practice and my body language is off. So now it's a trickle down effect. It's a trickle down effect from the newspaper. It's a trickle down effect from the newspaper on Friday to Saturday. His body language. So now he's just feeling himself.
Being on camera.
Right. So now I'm just this hot shot who can't be talked to.
Gotcha.
And so it was devastating at the time, super devastating. Like I was like, of course, me, that's all I ever wanted to do was play basketball. And I just remember I told this story to a kid actually who was going. Well, he's going to be a junior now, but he was going to be a sophomore
Gotcha.
last year. And I told him this story last summer when he was going to be a sophomore. And I said the last thing you want to do is be a sophomore, feeling like you should be on varsity, and have to go sit at the lunch table with a whole bunch of players that are playing varsity, and you just there like, yeah, that was a good game last night, guys. Yeah. And it's just like that was the hardest year for me ever. Like,
yeah. So going into that fourth, like when you first got demoted, mentally, you know, as a young kid, as an adult, you know, you get demoted at your full-time job. You know what I'm saying? From this to that, like you know, that's difficult for anyone to accept, especially in your mind where you're like, wait, you know, what's going on? I don't understand. But as a 10th grader, where were you at mentally, and how were you after that, and how did you get through
distraught. I was distraught. I couldn't tell you one JV highlight from 10th grade. I couldn't tell you one game. I couldn't tell you anything from that whole year of basketball wise, besides the fact that I was sick, and I was like, after the JV game, I would just leave. Like, I'm going home. I'm not.
You ain't sticking around to watch the varsity games?
No, I'm out of here. I gotta get home.
Wow.
So that was a long year, and it was tough, but
yeah,
it was tough. It was part of the story, but it was definitely tough, and I still don't understand it to this day. And I just want to put that to you, Big Star. I don't understand it to this day. It could have, looking back at it, it could have broke me, and I could have never ever. There's a lot of people that got demoted and got cut who would have went straight to the block. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
They would have went straight to somewhere else. But
I know some kids that would have quit. They would have said, "I ain't doing this. I ain't going to JV. I'm out. Forget that."
Absolutely. So I'm just blessed that I was able to stick with it, and it didn't break me, even though it did take me to a super low spot. It didn't break me, and I was able to stick with it.
You know, me being a man of faith, and I believe everything 100% happens for a reason. You know, God's plan is perfect every time. If that's what you believe as well, what's something that you think you learned from that experience?
Mark just asked that question too.
Perfect. There we go, Mark. We on the same page. So what did you learn from that? And then what was the purpose for that situation?
What did I learn? What did I learn? I don't want to say like I learned to be humble and because I was already a humble kid. Gotcha. And I was already not a boaster and not none of that stuff. So from it, what I learned is that, like, I guess the game could be taken away from you. I don't know what I learned from that. Honestly, Mark Big Star, I don't know. I was a 10th grade kid. The infraction was super minor. It was something that you could have been talked to as a 10th grade kid. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to say, especially when this kid his dream is to be a college. He's actually, there's some guys on the team who they're not planning on going to college.
Gotcha.
Or they don't plan on being a professional basketball player. That was I'm sure they knew that's where my mind was at. That's what I wanted to do.
Gotcha.
So it seemed like it could have been a conversation. But I'm gonna be honest. I can't say what I learned from it. I work harder, be humble, but I don't think I learned those things, but I don't think it was from that.
Gotcha. I got you. Yeah. So moving forward, how did you bounce back from it, and then get into your 11th grade year and 12th grade year?
So of course, after that happened, my whole mind was on transferring. Like, I'm going to transfer.
Oh,
I'm going to go somewhere else and play.
Okay.
There's a big shout out to Julia, to J Mac. Big shout out to my mom, my brother, and my sister. They actually had faith. They had faith in Coach Bink. They were like, Coach Bink you're not gonna get better coaching than Coach Bink.
100%. Not at all. 100%. Yep.
So, although at that time I'm like, you just kicked me off the team, like. But shout out to those people, my brother, my sister, my mom, and J Mac. They had more faith in Coach Bink at that time than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, now I've grown to love. I respect Coach Bank a ton, and he really helped my development of me as a man and me as a basketball player a ton. I
Mm-hmm.
think he could have did that with me playing as a sophomore, but he definitely helped me out a lot. And so that's what it really came down to. It really came down to where do you want to go to play for a better coach than Coach Bank?
Yeah.
So I came back. I humbled out. I just was like, I'm here again. This guy who just started in 10th grade. I'm still here. I'm coming to all the, strength and conditioning, on all season things. I'm here, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made because that junior year at Norristown was one of the best years in the history of Norristown basketball.
Mm-hmm. So most memorable experiences, memorable games, classic rivalries. We'll just kind of go through them one by one. Most memorable games of your junior, senior years.
Most memorable game for me, I'm gonna say, well, it couldn't be that memorable because I don't remember who we played, but I do know the last game of our junior year was 23-0. We wanted to have we had a perfect season, perfect regular season.
And now
So
you said that was your junior year?
that was my junior year. We had a perfect
Gotcha.
regular season. We were 24-0.
Uh-huh.
And that 24th game, I want to say, was like CB West or something like that, CB something maybe. And I just remember we had a chance to have a perfect season, have an undefeated regular season, and so that was really exciting. And we ended up winning, and we ended up going all the way into the district championship undefeated. We were 28-0 before we played Chester. Before we played Chester, and lost to Chester. Karan Burton, who you had on here before, he was on that team.
Yes, legendary. So yeah, that was your junior year. Oh, J Max said CB West. That was CB West.
Okay, yeah, it was CB West.
But that was your junior year when y'all played at the Bryce Jordan Center in the championship game.
Yeah, that was my junior year. We went 32-2. The only two losses was to Chester. We lost in the district championship to Chester, and we lost in the state championship to Chester.
Wow.
So it wasn't and they had it was just luck. It was the luck of they had if any other team we played, we have undefeated seasons. They just had a mob of height. They had a mob of height and talent and grit and tough.
I mean,
you
got Karan Burton. You got Karan Burton as the floor general. I mean, it's going to be a tough downhill battle.
So it's like you got Karan Burton, right? 5'8", 5'9", and then nothing else around. Everything around him is 6'5" and 6'6", and he's just like running around with the ball, throwing it wherever he wants to throw it, making tough shots. They were super tough, and we came close. We came close, but we ain't beat them neither time.
Yeah, we'll talk. I mean, that I remember watching. That was on CN8, Comcast, Sportsnet, whatever. I remember watching that championship game, and I was pissed because y'all was getting blown out. Remember that? Y'all was getting blown out.
First half might have been down like 20.
So I was so pissed going into halftime. I told Keisha, I said, "Man, I ain't watching no more of this game. I'm turning this off." Right. I literally was off of it. I turned it back on. And I said, wait, they coming back.
Yeah, we got all the way back into having the ball.
You was going nuts in that joint, dog.
Yeah, I ended up having 19 in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
That was a great memory in high school. But we ended up having the ball.
I think I almost sorry to cut you off. I think I almost broke my TV that game because I was jumping around so much it almost fell off the TV stand.
We ended up getting all the way back to having the ball down 1.
Yes. Yes. Insane. Who were some of the toughest players that you two-part question. Some of the toughest players you went against in high school in your junior, senior year? I guess besides, Chester, you already mentioned them, and Karan Burton, and some of the biggest rivalry games that you guys had and played against.
First is players. I'll skip to the rivalries first. We played, of course, Norristown PW, but always sold out game, standing room only. Great battles. That time they had Jalen Bond, CJ Aiken. Those were always, intense games. Reese though. Reese is sick. Reese,
little bro, I was wondering where you was at, man. I mean, you was kind of quiet. I was waiting for something, man.
So players, who do we play in high school? Man, who do we play that was really good? Senior year, who did we play? Damn, it's slipping me. I know we played Imhotep my senior year. I know they had Will Adams,
Okay.
who was good. We played Chester my senior year as well. Riley Jefferson ended up going to college with me. Ended up being my college teammate. So Riley was good, always active. He always was just active.
And Nasir Nas was on that Chester team.
Nasir Robinson was on that Chester team.
He was a senior when you was a junior, though, right?
Yeah, he was there my junior. Yeah, I was there, he was a senior. Dalton Pepper, we played against him.
Okay.
He was high level at that time for sure. He's still high level. He was high level at that time for sure. Those guys: Dalton Pepper, CJ Aiken, Jalen Bond. Those were some of the top guys.
Got you. And so, junior year, you guys almost, you guys have a undefeated regular season, get all the way to the chip, only lose those 2 games, and then your senior year. How was that record wise, and how was the team in comparison to the previous year?
So that was Russ calling me. He must be hearing the slander here. He just gonna call me.
Restart trouble already.
So yeah, you see. But what was the question again, Big Star?
Oh, my bad. So y'all junior year, you guys go undefeated and lost.
Okay, going into the senior year.
And then the senior year, how record wise, how was that year, and how was the team in comparison to the previous year?
Right. Okay. So after that junior year, that great 32-2 year, we lost only 2 games. I ended up that summer was the first summer and the only summer that I played with team final. Got to play with team final that summer. Had a good year.
Okay.
Was on a lot of radars. Ended up playing with team final. Me and Deion Waiters was the backcourt.
Oh, wait a minute. Talk about it. Yeah. Well, you know what? That was going to after talking about the high school experience. I was going to ask you to talk about AAU experience. So talk about that. Oh, first, did you play any AAU prior to that or no?
Yeah, I was playing with Philly Soul. And then one year we actually had a Kobe sponsorship, so we ended up with Team Kobe for a summer.
Okay, and how was the Philly Soul experience before you talk about team final?
Philly Soul was good. I talked about it earlier. Played with guys like Dalton Pepper.
Oh, that's right.
Norristown Lindsay, who was probably the best scorer I've ever played with. Norristown Lindsay. Coach Rod used to actually compare him to Kareem Towns, who you had on yesterday. Who was just a real great scorer. But yeah, I was playing with Philly Soul, and then up until my junior year, up until my last summer when I played with Team Final, and it was me and Deion.
So talk about that experience, man.
So that was cool. Me and Deion. Well, I knew him from before because Maul Wilson. He went to Newman, so he went to school in South Philly. So you skipped this part, but we used to always go to Newman, Maul Wilson. We was taking trips to go see wherever they were playing at. They had a player on their team who was my favorite high school player of all time, which was Scoop Jardine, who I was going to go watch. We were going to watch Maul Wilson. So I just said all that to say I knew Deion before we actually played with Team Final just because I've been down there watching Jamal so much, and he was a South Philly kid.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that summer was great. It was great for me personally because a lot of people got to see me. Of course, they would come. Deion was already committed to Syracuse. He committed to Syracuse like a freshman. We had Lamar Patterson, who was getting recruited by everybody in the country. So we had a lot of highly recruited guys. And once again, I was just there, and they who was that kid? Me and Deion was the backcourt. We had a pretty good summer. I remember in Peach Jam we actually beat John Wall's team. Played with John Wall, and we beat them. And we Terrence Jones, remember him? Went to Kentucky. One and done in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Portland team, we beat them. So yeah, we down Peach Jam. We had it was a fun summer, man. Deion's still my guy. We had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun competing.
Gotcha. Anybody else? Any other names like guys who went on to be pros that you remember playing against during that time?
Who played? Kendall Marshall. Remember him? Like Boo Williams. Who else? I don't remember his shot right now, Big Star.
It's all good. It's all good.
Right. I'm sure we put it. I remember down Peach Jam. It was everybody was down there. DeMarcus Cousins.
Mhm. And what year was that? That was like still 08,
This is
09, 08?
yeah. This is summer of '08.
Okay, so 07, 08 summer. Got you.
Yeah. This is summer of '08.
Got you. Got you.
So yeah, I put a lot of guys. Anybody in '09. I can't think of them right now, but they were.
Yeah.
We seen them. We seen them.
Yeah, so
We seen them.
everybody, especially in our area, once the high school seasons are over, PIAA championships and all that kind of stuff is wrapped up, everybody trickles down to Conshohocken and plays in the Donna Field. What's your tell me about your Donna Field legacy?
So I've got a Donald Field championship.
Whoa, okay.
That's a pretty big accomplishment when you look back at it.
100%.
I actually have a Donald Field championship. My last was it my senior year? Yeah, my senior year. My last year, I won a Donald Field. I played with I3.
Okay.
Bill Wilson. He had a team. Him and Coach Tone. Yes, I got a Donald Field championship. Donald Field MVP. We played versus Dalton Pepper in the championship.
Wait, you were the Donald Field MVP?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. So, tell me about. Come on, any memories from down there? Any memories from that year? Players you played against, big games. Just performances. Anything you remember, man? I know. It's like a blur, but just
right.
give me something.
It's really slipping. Right now, all I'm thinking about is a picture of me and Dalton Pepper. He's runner up, and I got the trophy, and that's what's sticking out of my head right now. But who was down there, man? I don't know. I know I've seen so many great players down the field. Man, I've seen Kyrie Irving put on shows down the field. I'm not sure they weren't in it that year. I don't think he was in it that year. I was.
Okay.
But I definitely saw him put on shows down there. I've seen Tyreek Evans put on shows down there. I've seen Wayne Ellington and Gerald Henderson put on shows down there.
For sure. Hey, so my question, something I'm thinking about now is, so you talk about like your you weren't the most athletic, you weren't the quickest, but you had a super high IQ, could knock down shots, could figure out ways to score regardless. So amongst that all the competition, I mean, the top competition in Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, all that kind of stuff, and you wind up getting the MVP of the Donner Field. I'm sure if you look at like all the all-stars that played that year, some of the top guys, and you rose to the top, you were the MVP. How are you getting it done? You know what I'm saying, down there? How are you scoring? What were you doing down there?
One thing I was always really, really good at was playing at my own pace. Was never really rushing. I always knew how to play. Like a lot of the higher level kids today, they're really good or they're really talented, but they don't really know how to play. Like, they don't really know how to like get a certain shot or anything like that. I was always good at getting to where I wanted to get to. I was always really good at drawing fouls. I was always really good at making tough shots. I just was playing. I was never a gunner. Like I've always been a scorer, a high. I always scored. I was majority of the time on the team. I'm the leading scorer. But I never was none of my teammates will ever tell you I was a ball hog.
Gotcha.
Or that I was a bad shot taker or anything like that. I always let the game come to me. I was always really confident and just aggressive as far as trying to score and make plays. And so, yeah, that's what I was doing. I just was playing at my own pace. I was making threes. I was pump faking, getting to the lane, shooting floaters, getting fouled. Winning was always the most important thing to me. And I would just try to make winning plays. I was just making winning plays.
Yeah. So tell me about the college recruiting process, all the different schools that were recruiting you, some of the visits you went on, and then what ultimately led you to choosing Temple.
So after that junior season, when we had that really good year, my college recruitment started to pick up a little bit. I started to get some college offers. I'll never forget my first college offer was University of Delaware. Shout out to R.C. Kehoe. He's still a good friend of mine. And Coach Monte, he's an assistant now at Temple. That was my first offer, and they had it right. Like they had it right about me. Like they were the only school that recruited me that was like, "Yo, you gonna come here? I see it. I don't know what everybody else is looking at. They probably coming to see Dion and all these guys. I see it. you're going to score 2,000 points if you come here. Like, that's what they were
Wow.
telling me.
Yeah.
That's what RC and Monte were telling me.
Uh-huh.
So shout out to them. My recruitment wasn't crazy, but I had, I had like Delaware, LaSalle. Temple was late, actually. Temple
Okay.
was late, and I'll tell you why I chose Temple. Who else? I had like DPU, Towson. I can't think. It really, in my head, it really came down to Temple and LaSalle, just because I don't know. Like, that's just where I was at. That's where I was at with it, and it was because Coach G did a really good job of recruiting me as well. He was telling me a lot of those similar things at the staff from Delaware were telling me, like, yo, you can score the ball, you can come here and score a lot of points. That's honestly what I was looking to hear and get recruited.
Gotcha.
Then Coach Dunphy, they not really recruiting me. I remember, so a lot of things even had to happen for me to even get a Temple offer.
Okay.
I know Lamar Patterson was higher on their list. He ended up going to Pittsburgh. I know Dalton Pepper was super high on their list, and he ended up going to West Virginia.
Okay.
So trickle down. And I'm playing with Team Final, and I'm having a good summer. And they're really coming to see Lamar Patterson and Scooter Gillette even at that time, big guy we had. And Coach Duke and Coach Langle, they used to just see me, and one day they offered me a scholarship, and it didn't I don't know. So I chose them because after looking over, I knew that they were going to play a high level schedule. I knew they were going to play good teams. They always had a great out of conference schedule. And then at that time, Deontay Christmas was a senior at Temple. And he was scoring the ball. He was scoring so many points. He led the Atlantic 10 in scoring, I want to say 3 straight years. So he was scoring the ball a lot, and I was like, and he had a ton of freedom as far as scoring the ball. So I just was like, if I can get to the point where I got that kind of freedom on offense that Deontay Christmas has right now, then and I'm going to be playing this schedule. We're playing Dukes and we're playing Syracuse's. Then I can work something out here. So I ended up just committing to Temple, just because I knew we were going to play a tough schedule, and because I believe one day I could get the freedom that Deontay Christmas had on the offensive end.
So, when you're being recruited, they're telling you and telling your parents, kind of what they want to hear. RC Kehoe and those guys at Delaware, they were saying, look, you come here, you'll score 2,000 points. What was the rap? What was the conversation at Temple? Like, what was the role that they were telling you that you were going to play?
So it was the exact opposite of everything I just said I was trying to hear. It was nothing here is going to be promised. We don't know if you're going. We doubt if you play your freshman year.
Wow.
They were just like, you're going to work for every single thing that you get.
They kept it real. They kept it real.
We're not going to give you anything. Coach Dunn never told me. He never told me one. He still to this. It took for like all those crazy games I've ever had at Temple for him to be like, okay, you were a really good player. So throughout that whole 4 years, I've never heard that once, that you were really good. Yeah, that was his style, though. Coach Dunn, that's still my guy. I still talk to him to this day. But yeah, he kept it real with me, and it was true. I earned every single thing that I got at Temple. He was super hard on me. So, yeah, shout out to Coach Dunph. Shout out to Coach Dunph, Coach Langle, Coach Killings, and Coach Duke, and Coach Chice. That's a great staff, and they all played great parts, big parts in my whole college career. Like, our staff was a really good staff at Temple, in my opinion.
No doubt. So take me through your Temple experience. Anything that I know it's some things are still a blur as well, but anything you remember from Temple, you can talk about it in any order. You can go year by year or just overall. Big game, memorable experiences, players you played against, anything.
So we can start with my freshman year. So Coach Dunn didn't tell no lies. Nothing was going to be given to me. So my freshman year, I only stepped on the court in 5 total games.
Wow.
I only stepped on the court. Not that I only stepped on my sneakers only hit the court in 5 games out of 40 games.
Besides practice.
So that was a tough year. That was like, wow, like, what am I doing here? Like, am I still a basketball player? Like, wow. I don't play in games. Like, So that was tough. That was actually a funny year.
Were you doing well? Were you doing well in practice?
So my favorite part of my freshman year was that because I wasn't playing, I was always, and I was a good scorer, but I wasn't playing. I was always the best player on the team that we were about to play, on the scout team. I was always that team's leading scorer. So I'll never forget it was a guy named Jeremy. Well, it was two people who I enjoyed being the most. I'm literally, and then mind you, I'm a character in my head, so I'm literally these guys. Like I'm trying to do their move. We just watched film. So there's two guys that stick out to me. One was he went to Seton Hall. His name was Jeremy Hazel. Great scorer, great shooter. Shot any kind of shot, deep threes. So I never forget I was him. We were playing Seton Hall at the Prudential Center, and I was him the 2 days leading up to the Seton Hall game. And I'm just making crazy shots, taking crazy shots. Anytime I get the ball, I'm shooting it, and I'm like, I'm going crazy to the point where I'm like, yo, he might put me in. he might put me in versus Seton Hall because I've been just as good as Jeremy Hazel these last.
Don't tell me every time after you hit a shot, you run it back, looking at the coach like.
I'm like, yo, I'm Jeremy Hazel. Like whoever's guarding me right now, they're not doing a good job because I'm getting 30 in practice at Jeremy Hazel. So that's one memory that's funny to me. And then the other one, the second guy was Corey Fisher. Corey Fisher was at Nova. I mean, was at Nova. He was always one of my favorite players anyway, even from high school. So I was him, and I was just playing pick and roll. Corey Fisher, I had a real good week as Corey Fisher too. That was the highlights of my freshman year.
That's funny.
That year went. We're going to my sophomore year, so that's another thing that it's a trend in. It's like this throughout my whole career. After my freshman year, I'm like, I should transfer.
Okay.
This ain't it. Like what? I just sat out this whole year. We still got people coming back. Maybe this isn't.
Did you ever consider like redshirting, or was that an option?
This is a story. This is a story, and this shows you where I was at my freshman year and how I was really perceived. And it stuck out to me now. It sticks out to me more than it did back then. But going into maybe like 2 games into my freshman year, of course we talked about like, yo, maybe we should redshirt them. I was so like, I don't want to say I was a lazy. I wasn't the hardest working kid as a freshman.
A good way to put it. It's a good reframe.
I wasn't the hardest working kid, and I wasn't the easiest to coach. Like I wasn't like the most like. I was never disrespectful, but I wasn't like. It was a certain way that I like to do stuff. Like that's just how I was. That's just how I was operating, and it was to the point where Coach Dumpf was like, Coach Langle had brought it up to him like maybe we should redshirt him, and Coach Dumpf was like, redshirt him for what? Like we don't want him here for 5 years. You see those kids acting like we'd be lucky to have him for 4. Like he might want to think about transferring. That was the conversation. That was the conversation around me as an 18-year-old kid.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. So he didn't even want to. We didn't rush.
Like, we don't want him being here that long. Like no, let him expire. Let him use his years.
Yeah. Wow. 5 years. We don't know if we want him for 4.
Wow, that's crazy.
See the way this kid's acting. He's not pushing himself and all this strength and conditioning, all these suicides and all this stuff was all. It wasn't new to me, but it was like I knew that I was good. Of course, all that stuff is important, and all that stuff is very important, strength and conditioning. But I knew that I had a style of play and I had a style of doing things that I thought was effective. So,
Hey, that reminds me. I appreciate it. This is a perfect time for us to take a break. I forgot to mention at the top of the hour. Instagram, they give us hour blocks to talk. So it's winding down. We got a minute. So everybody, we have an amazing audience, man. So I need y'all to do me a favor. I'm gonna end this one, save it. I'm gonna come right back in like 30 seconds. Everybody, come right back, man, because these stories are crazy. You're here with KHALIF WYATT, man, hot Norristown High legend, Temple legend, pro, professional, businessman. Everybody, come right back. We're gonna pick right back up from here. All right?
Definitely.
All right.
Hey, what's the deal? We back. It's your boy Big Star, Raw Sports. RawSports.tv is the website. Raw Sports Films on YouTube. Here with my little bro, KHALIF WYATT, man, telling some legendary stories about his high school career, college career. Here we go with part two.
Hey, so pick right back up where you left off. You were just talking about that story of them, saying, 5 years, we don't know if he wanted him here for 4 years. Kind of pick back up, from there.
Right. So I'm a freshman, and yeah, 3 games in, talking about redshirting. They don't want to redshirt me. They don't know they're like, yeah, like we don't want to redshirt me. So I end up not redshirting. So I want to. My head. I'm like, at the end of the season, I'm probably going to transfer.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was at. I'm probably going to transfer. But
Did you have options, or you was just like, going to just,
I didn't really open it up really, but I have a funny story about. So Chuck Ellis, he was an assistant coach at Cheney.
Gotcha.
He used to call me, like, we used to talk a lot. Like, he was like, "Have you gonna get me to come to Cheney?" Like, I'm telling you, I know they're not treating you right up there. If you come to Cheney, you're gonna be balling. Like,
no doubt.
We used to talk a lot about
you, no doubt.
Yeah, he wanted me to come to Cheney, but I never really opened up my like transferring. Like, I never really made it public or anything like that, so I wouldn't even know where I could have transferred to. But besides Cheney.
Yeah. So just imagine if, nowadays, like right now, the transfer portal, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Internet's popping, transfer portal. Do you think that, had then been now, you think you would have, possibly entered your name into that transfer portal and kind of circulated yourself, or no?
It's a great possibility. I probably would have. But once again, shout out to my supporting cast, my brother, my sister, my mom. They really was like, just like, it's only 1 year. Like, It's only 1 year. Like, relax. They told me to stick it out. Once again, they had more faith in Coach Dunphy than I had in Coach Dunphy.
Wow. So that's the theme again. Once again.
Right. They're like, no, Coach Dunphy. Like, we trust him. We believe, like, you gotta work. Like, all right. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I ended up sticking it out. And going into that sophomore year, I had a good summer, a real intentional summer. Like, I grew up a lot between the freshman year and sophomore year. Coach Langle, he was really on me. Like, he really helped me a lot as far as just developing into a college player. He was on me a lot, and it helped going into my sophomore year. And even going into my sophomore year, I probably was about like the 8th or 9th man off the bench.
Okay.
I played. I wasn't getting like DNPs. Huh?
I said that's deep down the bench. That's deep down there.
Yeah. So I probably averaging like through the first like 8 games, I would say I probably was averaging like 8 to 10 minutes a game.
Okay.
But in those 8 to 10 minutes, first of all, I'm coming from just not playing at all, so I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled about this 8 to 10 minutes that I'm getting. And in this 8 to 10 minutes, I'm being like super effective. I'm having like 12-point games and 8-point games, and that's I'm doing my thing. And it's 8 to 12 minutes. I'm probably getting a game through the first 8 games. So through that first 8 to 10 games, I started gaining more. Coach Dunk started to gain more confidence in me.
Okay.
And throughout that year, my role just continued to expand. And I end up finishing that year as the Atlantic 10 6th man of the year. So I end up.
Wow. That's dope, man. So you moved from 7th, 8th, 9th guy on the bench to one of the first subs. At what point did you become one of the first? When the game starts, they look down, they need a sub. KHALIF, when did that start?
Right. That didn't start until about.
Listen, the first whistle, they say, KHALIF, when did that start?
Right. So end up getting to the point where probably like, I'm going to say like after that first 10, 11 games, we're like, before that first media, like before that media timeout, that first media timeout, that 16-minute, I was getting subbed in. So I would say like after like the 11th, 12th game, something like that. Maybe earlier than that, maybe somewhere between that 8 to 12 range.
Mm-hmm.
But I was the first sub, and I was playing starter minutes.
Yeah.
I was finishing games. I was always on the court at the end of games.
Yeah.
I was playing big minutes, so
Yeah.
it would probably take about 8 to 12 games for me to get that role.
Yeah.
But I earned that role from that little minutes I was getting,
Yeah.
and what I was doing in those minutes. It was like, okay, we gotta have him out here.
Yeah.
So I was playing, and I was being effective.
Curiosity, are there any allegations that, during this time, are there any allegations out there of you after those big games, next morning, checking the newspaper, running around with a big head flaunting, and any allegations or no?
Absolutely not. That was my first and only ever allegation of me being big headed in hockey and anything like that.
So this one,
grade.
you pretty much, you humbled, you've grown some.
Super humble, great teammate, great locker room guy, funny guy on the team. Everybody talks to me. I'm that guy, not that other guy, whoever I was.
Yeah. What did that do for your confidence and you mentally? Just your swag. You know what I'm saying? All right. I don't want to ask too many questions. One question at a time. What did that do for you mentally to go from not playing your freshman year, thinking about transferring, your role, your limited minutes, and then you becoming the sixth man, and then you get this award, you get this paperwork, you get notified that you're sixth man of the year. Like, what did that do for your confidence, man, and mentally?
So that whole sophomore year was big for my confidence because you got to think I'm just coming off of not playing at all. So at that point, I'm like, wow, like, am I good? Like, am I? What am I? Who am I as a basketball player? I just didn't play at all. He just had a chance to send me in all these games.
Yeah.
And not one of these times they say, you know what, KHALIF can help us win this game. He continually didn't never make that sub. So that did a lot for that hurt my confidence a lot as a freshman.
Yeah.
But as I told you, Coach Langle, going into my sophomore year, we did a lot of work, put a lot of work in, and a lot of maturity happened as well. And yeah, after that sophomore year, throughout that sophomore year, my confidence continued to grow, and I was in my element. I was playing. I wasn't only playing, but I was affecting the team winning. Like I was making winning plays, big shots,
impact plays,
big plays on the court in winning time. So that did a lot for my confidence, and to be named Atlantic 10 six man of the year, that was just like to cap it off. Like, okay, all that stuff, it was worth it. That's sitting out that freshman year. Okay, that was worth you getting this award right here. You were just recognized as being the best player in the whole conference coming off the bench. So that was big. I was super confident going into my junior year. Like, okay, I'm here now. I know like my role is going to increase.
Yeah,
I got to be a starter now, right? This is year.
Moving on up.
Right. So I'm a starter now.
Oh, so you were a starter your junior year?
My junior year.
At what point did they say, all right, KHALIF, did you find out right before that first game? All right, our lineup tonight's going to be KHALIF, or when did you find out you was going to be starting?
No. After when the award for sixth man of the year came, that's when it should have been. It was like, okay, can't come off the bench again.
No doubt.
So that whole summer I was preparing to be a starter.
Okay.
We had a great team. We had a great backcourt. Me, Juan Fernandez, and Ramon Moore. Great backcourt. Great three-headed guard combo who was very effective. And they were seniors, I was a junior, and I was right there. I think Moan averaged 17.3, and I averaged 17.1. Like I averaged 17 points my junior year. So I was like super confident, super effective. I'm not gonna say I was the guy because there was older guys on the team. So
of course.
I was one of the guys. I was one of the top guys on that on my junior year team. Sure.
So when people see you playing now, is that how you were playing then? Just really efficient, kind of like herky jerky, kind of like picking your spots, getting to where you want to get, taking your time, being real patient. taking the big shots, you know what I'm saying? Assists, kind of like, you know, is like in the in the TBT, you know, is that how you were playing, or, you know, what was your, you know, how were you then?
That's how I was playing. Man. I was being efficient. I was I was making threes. I always was a good shooter, so I was
Mm-hmm.
making a lot of 3-point shots. But I
Mm-hmm.
always was crafty and could use my pace and could use my body
Yep.
and could just score. I could score in a lot of different ways: shooting threes, pull up jump shots, tough shots, contested shots.
Yeah, and how did you adjust to, or how did the college coaches help you to adjust to, like, not being the fastest player, playing against super fast players, playing against guards like Marcus Green, or now you're trying to go to the hole and it's like a 7-footer, you know what I'm saying, and you can't jump that high. How did you adjust to all that stuff?
So that was always the thing. That's always the thing. It was always, can you do it versus athletic guys? Can you do it
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
these guys? At every level, I would always say that. Like even high school, couldn't. All right, we see you doing that slow shit. Like, can
Mm-hmm.
you do it versus some athletic long guys? So me, I always took that as a challenge. I was like, it's basketball. Like if I shoot it a little higher, like
Yeah,
I can't block it.
for sure.
If I use my body and shield the ball off, I don't care how tall you can jump. I mean, I don't care how high you can jump. If I bump you before you jump off the ground, and I lay the ball up quick, or I lay the ball up high, like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. Like, so that was always a question, and I've always denounced that question by just playing. My game has not really changed. I got faster. I got a
Yeah.
little more athletic, but I'm still not a blur, and I'm still not about to jump over you and dunk on you.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still 18, 19, 20 points a game wherever I'm
Got,
at in the world.
got you.
So it's like, yeah. So I didn't change. I didn't change my game. I maybe changed like, of course you gotta be a little more crafty. That's why they say I'm crafty. You
Of
gotta
course.
do it. If guy's more athletic, guy can jump higher. You might have to pump fake, or you
Mm-hmm.
might have to go quick layup, or you might
Mm-hmm.
have to bump him before he jumps. And
Mm-hmm.
now it don't matter how high he can jump because I bumped him already, and now most likely probably gonna be a foul.
Got you.
So I just kept getting better. I kept adjusting, and it never really affected me.
Yeah. So talk about your just kind of sum up your junior year, then your senior year, as it relates to memorable experiences, big games, you know, some players, some really good players you played against.
So junior year, best memory of junior year is, so I grew up a Duke fan.
Okay.
Grew up a Duke fan. J.J. Redick, Jay Williams, Chris Duhon, Shane Battier, Sheldon Williams. Duke was my team. I liked the way they played. They played hard. They shot threes. Duke was my team. So
Uh-huh.
going to my junior year, I got a chance to play versus Duke at the
Wow.
Wells Fargo Center.
Got you.
And we beat Duke at the Wells Fargo Center. I had 24, I want to say like 24, 25 points. And we beat Duke at the Wells Fargo Center. Coach K, Duke, who was on the team? Austin Rivers, Seth Curry,
Wow.
the Plumlee twins.
Ooh. Y'all beat a great team with some
Yeah,
NBA guys. Wow.
yeah, we beat Duke at the Wells Fargo Center. And that was a special moment just because I was a Duke fan. And I'm sure, like, if my name comes up in any conversation that Coach K is ever in, he knows exactly who that guy is and he knows. He remembers KHALIF WYATT, and that's cool. That's cool. I haven't talked to him or anything like that, but I know if my name comes up in the conversation and Coach K is there or anything like that, he remembers KHALIF WYATT put on a show at the Wells Fargo Center.
No
So
doubt.
that was cool.
Legendary. Legendary. Hey, pause real quick. Hold all those thoughts. Little bro, Maurice Allen has I pinned the comment of his.
Talk about when you cried and dunked a lot. So we're in high. This is my senior year of high school playing with Archbishop Carroll, right? We're losing. We're losing on we're playing a CN8 game versus Archbishop Carroll.
Oh, TV
And
game.
like, what TV game? Yeah, high school.
Okay.
So after that great junior year, we started getting some notoriety in our senior year. We started playing in showcase tournaments, CNA. I was already committed to Temple at the time, so like we had a known guy.
Of course.
But anyway,
Temple
we're playing
commit, kind of
versus
defiant, yeah.
right. We're playing versus Carroll, and we're losing. I hate losing. It's the fourth quarter. We're down like 8. Probably the game's over. Like we're gonna lose. Down 8. Probably like minute 30 to go. I got tears coming down my face. Like in the middle of the game. Like can't hold my tears back for whatever reason. And I get the ball, and I just come down. I'm still crying, and I just dunk. Somebody jump, I dunk it, and that's probably the only person I ever dunked on in my life. And yeah, I was crying. We lost the game. That's the reason. Whatever reason Reese wanted to talk about that story.
That's a classic memory though, because you dunked on somebody, and I
I
didn't know that.
definitely
So
dunked on
shout
somebody.
out to my little bro for bringing that up. Shout out to him.
Definitely dunked on somebody with tears coming down my eyes.
No doubt. So continue with your junior year memories. You mentioned it.
Okay, so
Duke
junior
games.
year, yep, we beat Duke. That was great. We played an NCAA tournament, so that's another thing that I'm thankful for. All 4 years at Temple, we played an NCAA tournament.
Uh-huh.
So that was cool. There's never a year that went by where we didn't get to play in the tournament. So that was cool. That was my junior year. My sophomore year, actually, rewind back quickly. In the tournament, we played against Kawhi Leonard. We played against San Diego State. And
Okay.
in the second round, we won the first game. Juan hit a crazy buzzer beater versus Penn State. We beat them, and then we got a chance to play against San Diego State with Kawhi Leonard. And we won a double overtime with them with Kawhi Leonard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We should have won. So in my junior year, I'm one of the leading scorers on the team. Great year. I just remember thinking that I was about to be first team All Atlantic 10. I remember that. I'm like, I'm about to be first team All Atlantic 10.
Uh-huh.
And then the teams came out, and I was second team All Atlantic 10. And I remember like, damn, like I did not like that. I was like, I really felt snug. Like, I was never a big awards guy or anything like that, but I just felt like I had like a great year.
Uh-huh.
And like, I was 17 All Atlantic 10. And it was still, I mean, coming from where, I was my freshman year.
Of course.
To my sophomore year being sixth man of the year to now being my junior year, second team All Atlantic 10.
Uh-huh.
So that was, I'm trending upward. I'm doing something better. I'm getting better every year.
Of course.
So going into my senior year, I'm projected first team All Atlantic 10. Projected. Some people projected me preseason player of the year in the league and stuff like that. And going to my senior year, I'm just super like, that's probably the most freest year of basketball I've said I played. Like I just was like, me and Coach Dump at this point, we have a super understanding. We have a super understanding of what I'm bringing to the table and what he's bringing to the table. So it's like, KHALIF, go do your thing. Go do what you do.
No doubt.
I was free as I could be, and I had fun. My senior year, I remember we played at Madison Square Garden. I brought that up. That was a dream come true, just because I watched so many games at Madison Square Garden. I've seen so many historic performances in Madison Square Garden, so I got a chance to play in Madison Square Garden versus Syracuse. I want to say they were undefeated at the time.
Okay.
Top 5.
And who did Syracuse have at the time?
They had Michael Carter Williams, C.J. Fair, Rakeem Christmas, Brandon Trish. They had those guys.
Gotcha.
We go in. I'll never forget I got off the bus and like how like on front of Madison Square Garden they'll have the pictures and like what's going on tonight here. And there was a picture of me up there like on front of Madison Square Garden. Like
wow.
That's when it got real to me. Like when we got off the bus, like damn, that's dope.
And let me guess, this was before the camera phone era. You ain't get a chance to do a selfie in front of the billboard.
I definitely didn't get the selfie. We had camera phones though. I didn't get the selfie.
That would have been legendary, dog. In front of the garden.
That would have been crazy.
Could have hit him with the.
That would have been crazy. But I just remember getting off the bus and like, they're about to play Madison Square Garden, and we're not just about to play. That was always my thing too. Like, we're not just about to play in Madison Square Garden. We're about to play in Madison Square Garden, and I'm the guy on one of the teams.
No doubt.
Who everybody is expecting to perform, or everybody's looking at him to do. Like, what is he going to do? It wasn't just like we were going to go play there. It was like, we're going to go play there, and you got to put on, like, for us to have a chance to win.
Of course.
So I went there, had 33.
Wow.
16 for 16 from the free throw line.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
33. Perfect from the free throw line? 16 for 16?
16 for 16 from the free throw line. We beat them. And
do you possibly have that game, man? Is that game like? Do you have a copy of that game on DVD or something like that? Dog?
I personally don't, but I'm sure it's in. I'm sure Temple has it. I'm so
Dog,
proud.
if you can find that John, we gotta find that John, man. You gotta get me that John, man.
Yeah,
Gotta get me that, man, if you
yeah.
can. If you
I'll
could,
definitely get you that. I'm actually going
please
there
work
tomorrow,
on
so
that.
I'll look into that.
Please work on that out. That'll be a blessing, dog. That'll be
I'm
major.
gonna look into that. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
beat them. My senior, I got a lot of good experience. Like we got a chance to play at Alvin Fieldhouse, Kansas. We lost that game, but that was just a great experience. Like that gym is legendary.
Uh-huh.
That was probably the loudest arena I've ever played in, and got a chance to play against them, Ben McLemore, those guys. Then that's the year. That's my senior year where I got a chance. I played in the NCAA tournament and
Mm-hmm.
back-to-back 30s, 30 versus 31 versus NC State, and then 31 versus Indiana.
And
So
who were some of the players, some of the notable players on both those teams?
NC State, they got Lorenzo Brown, CJ Leslie, Richard Howe, and then on Indiana, Tyler Zeller or Cody Zeller, one of the Zeller brothers, Cody Zeller,
Okay.
and Victor Oladipo, Yogi
Mm.
Ferrell, those guys.
Gotcha.
So, quick recap. This is my favorite part of this story. Is that so freshman year we went from me not playing,
Mm-hmm.
and then senior year, literally bringing home every single award. Remember I said I was upset that I didn't get first team my
Exactly.
junior year.
Exactly.
So my senior year we go Atlantic 10 Player of the Year.
Wow. Wait. You were Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, dog? I did not. I totally forgot about that. Wow.
Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, Big 5 Player of the Year, first team All Atlantic 10, and like brought home every single first team All Big 5, of course. And so it went from like the story just that's how it ended. That's how my college career ended.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing, dog. Did you tell me what it was like your very last game and you knew that you wasn't gonna be wearing that jersey anymore?
All right. So my last game was versus Indiana, a great performance in a game that we had a chance to win. Of course, I was heartbroken after the loss. And one thing I can say helped me, and I want to say this like for the younger kids, is that all throughout my freshman to my senior year in college, I never once was thinking about NBA scouts or
Okay.
going to go overseas. I didn't know much about overseas. I wasn't worrying about who was in the crowd. Like, I'm sure there were NBA scouts. Now looking back, I know there were scouts there
Mm-hmm.
and watching these games, but that was never ever a thought of mine. Like, not even once crossed my mind. I never looked at no mock drafts or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So I remember after we lost my last game with Indiana, the reporter asked me like, "What's now? What's next?" or whatever. I was like, I have no idea. Like,
Wow. Like honestly, wow.
I was just wrapped up in being a college basketball player for this last 4 years, and I just lost
Yeah.
a heartbroken game, my last game,
Yeah.
and I don't
Like
know
I'm
what's
still,
man.
like I'm
I don't
still
know
in the
whose
moment.
radar. Right, I don't know whose radar I'm on as far as
Yeah.
NBA draft
And I guess
goes.
the interesting thing is, in comparison to like the high school transition to college, in high school you're getting letters, you know what I'm saying, you're getting offers, all that kind of stuff. But in the NBA, when you're in college, transitioning to play professionally, it's not like you're getting your college coach is like, yo, Leaf, I got some letters down here from the Lakers. You know what I'm saying?
Right, it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. And I mean, I guess at a higher level, you probably do have like agents talking to you at that
Talking to
point.
you, yeah.
And you have like, but I guess I wasn't there. I just wasn't there. Nobody was. Yeah. I wasn't involved in any of that kind of talk throughout my whole college year.
Gotcha.
Throughout my senior year, maybe a few agents, something like that, but no, like nothing.
Wasn't all crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't crazy. It wasn't hectic. So I was literally locked in on being the best college player I could be.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah.
I just want to give that to the kids who are, because they worrying about a lot of other stuff.
Uh-huh.
They're worrying about their ranking. They're worrying about who's at the game. They're worrying about all that stuff when none of that stuff you can control. All you can control is going out there and performing.
No doubt. So take me into the mindset and when you sat and realized, you know what? Like the reporter asked, like, what is next? You know what I'm saying? Once you figured out, okay, what the next move was going to be, when you started looking forward to like the NBA draft, did you get an agent and kind of that whole transition?
All right, so I played that last game versus Indiana, and then I want to say like a couple of days after that, I ended up signing with an agent, and I really only signed with him, looking back, because of other players that they represented.
Okay.
that was, I guess that was, looking back, that's not how you should choose an agent. You should choose
Yeah.
an agent based on who's going to give you the most attention, who's
Uh-huh.
going to offer all their resources to you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
That's how you should choose an agent. So I end up choosing an agent, and I go straight to Las Vegas and start preparing for the NBA draft. I
Uh-huh.
do all my pre-draft work in Las Vegas. I'm out there for like 3 months training at Impact Academy.
At that facility out there.
At Impact, yep. Shout out to Drew and Joe, was my guys out there. Uh, yeah, I was out there working, getting ready for pre-draft, and that's when I was becoming a pro. I was working out 2-3 times a day, being around other pros and focused on, becoming a professional basketball player. So, yeah, I'm going through the pre-draft process where I'm flying to all these different teams. I worked out for about 19 different NBA teams. So I'm getting a chance to go see all these facilities, and, sometimes, a player might be coming through, I might have just got done working out, and I'm walking past the NBA, like, oh, like, I'm still in that mood.
Yeah. Kind of a fan. Like, oh, they go
Right,
such and
like,
such. Yeah, yeah.
right. So I'm getting a chance to see all these facilities, to meet all these coaches and all these, people in the executives and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed the whole pre-draft experience
Uh-huh.
because it was like, they were taking care of my travel. I was staying in a hotel. I was going to go work out the next day. I was, in their facilities and stuff like that. So it was a real cool experience for me. And I was going back and forth from Vegas. So I was going from Vegas to my workout, back to Vegas. So I really enjoyed that whole process, the whole pre-draft process.
Yeah. And then, what I mean, so your focus is obviously, I'm going to the NBA. I want the opportunity, the open door to get into the NBA. So how does it, tell me where you were, tell me what your agent was telling you leading up to the draft, and like where you were at draft night, and kind of how it played out for you.
So the fact that I worked out for 19 teams, 18, 19 teams, it showed me that at least they knew who I were. I was on some teams' radars. My agent never guaranteed me that I was going to get drafted or anything like that.
Okay.
He said a couple teams liked me and that you may have a chance in the second round.
Okay.
Things like that. So I went into draft night. I was optimistic, but I wasn't like, I'm about to hear my name called.
I understand.
That wasn't my mindset that night. So I did watch the entire draft. Went undrafted. Literally, I don't even know if the draft was over yet before my agent called me and was like, you're going to go to the Sixers want you to come to Summer League with them.
So help me to understand that process from the inside. So if you go undrafted, and so is the ball in your court now to make a move and for your agent to reach out to these people? Or when you go undrafted, are some teams like, okay, who are all the names that went undrafted? Oh, let's invite KHALIF WYATT. Like, or you know what I mean? Who initiates what at that point? Because I never knew that.
So the ball's definitely in the player's court, in the agent's court. You can choose who you go to Summer League with, because you're a free agent.
Okay.
You can go wherever you want, whoever's interested. But yeah, the Sixers reached out to my agent and said they wanted to bring me to Summer League, to go to Summer League with them. So that's all it was at that point, was just, we're putting together our Summer League roster. We just got our draft picks. At that time, it was Carter Williams and Nerlens Noel. We want him to be a part of our Summer League roster. So he called me right there, like, you're going to go to Summer League with the Sixers. I went to Orlando with the Sixers, and I was going to go to Vegas with Dallas.
Okay.
So that literally happened on draft night. Like, you're going to go to Orlando with the Sixers, and you're going to go to Vegas with Dallas. So because I'm local, the Sixers were local, immediately after the draft, like, I was I'm not going to say I was in the same boat as Carter Williams and Nerlens Noel, but they were getting acclimated, and I was local, so like, I could come to all of those workouts as well. So I was in the gym. I was in the Sixers facility training with the Sixers. It's summertime, so a lot of guys aren't there. But Michael Carter Williams was. Me and him were good friends. We were in the gym together, and I was training. I was training with the Sixers, getting ready to go to Summer League.
Gotcha. And so just continue to break down the process of how it goes. And I remember social media, everybody sees you in the Sixers jersey and on the writing reports, and then some people in their minds like, yo, some people I'm sure that may not have been educated. They didn't know, what the whole process was. Some people, Leaf got drafted by the Sixers. He playing with the
Right.
Sixers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So now I'm on the summer league team. That's the only capacity right now. I'm on the summer league team. I'm training to get ready to go to Orlando to play summer league. So we get together. Probably now everybody gets there the whole summer. Everybody's going to summer league. We get together for about 2 weeks. Mind you, I've been there for about a month earlier, maybe a month, like couple weeks earlier because I was local. So we get ready to go to Orlando. Shout out to Aaron McKee, was an assistant at the time, and Coach Michael Curry. They were the head coaches at the time. It was this is the year. This is Doug Collins just got fired, and Michael Curry and Aaron McKee were on Doug Collins' staff.
Okay.
And they're about to fast forward. Michael Curry and Aaron McKee, neither one of them ended up getting a job. They end up bringing in Brett Brown. And Brett Brown brings in his own. He gets rid of everybody except he gets rid of Aaron McKee and Michael Curry.
Yeah.
So I'm going to summer league.
Before you get into that, were anybody from that staff feeling you? Like any of those assistants feeling your vibe?
Absolutely. So Aaron McKee, he's a local guy, Temple guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Michael Curry, they were both fans of my game. They both liked what I brought to the table.
Yeah. So they would have pushed for you possibly.
Absolutely. And even to say that, going into summer league, when they were my coaches, I ended up leading the summer league team in scoring in Orlando. I led the summer league team in scoring. I was playing. First of all, I was playing. There's a lot of guys that go to summer league and they don't play. Yeah. So I was playing a lot of minutes.
Especially undrafted. So you go undrafted and you're leading summer league. Leading your team in scoring.
Yep, I led our team in scoring.
In comparison to the guys that they drafted.
Yeah, well, Nerves Noel didn't play.
Okay.
Carter, because he was injured or something like that. But Carter Williams played.
Yeah.
And everybody else was on the summer league team. I was the leading scorer. And so I'm getting, after the last summer league game, I'm getting prepared to go to Vegas to play with Dallas. But my agent calls me and says, the Sixers have offered you a partially guaranteed contract to come to training camp.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not going to Vegas with Dallas anymore. My audition is over. Essentially, Orlando was my audition, and the Sixers decided to invite me to training camp.
And how many spots were you still battling with? So
I want to say like 18. I want to say like 18 guys get invited to training camp. I want to say like 18 guys, and they're going to keep like 14, something like that. I'm not sure the exact numbers, but I want to say like 18 guys are in training camp. So they invite me to training camp, partially guaranteed contract. I'm excited, super excited. It's a legit opportunity to be an NBA player.
100%.
I'm on the team.
Yeah.
And at this point, when I'm saying a partial guaranteed contract, at this point, I'm on the team.
Basically.
I have a locker, jersey with my number on the back, my name on the back.
No doubt.
So I'm there.
Did you feel like you were on the team? Or was it still like was dudes treating you kind of like you ain't really on the team?
No, I definitely got the feeling like I was on the team. A lot of guys, Evan Turner, shout out to Evan Turner, really took me under his wing. First of all, he was a fan of my game.
Gotcha.
And second of all, he was like, he was pushing for me. Like he actually, story about Evan Turner. So this is like the dress code was rather new at this time. Dress code, we had to get dressed or whatever.
Okay.
So I didn't have any dress clothes.
Okay. He was all athletic wear prior to that.
Right.
Tims, yeah.
So Evan Turner took me to Macy's at King of Prussia Mall. So he's like, just grab a couple things, right? So I grabbed like a polo, button up.
Did you know what to grab? Did you know what to grab?
No. So look, I just grabbed I grabbed like a polo, button up, and like a pair of slacks. Like, I brought it to him like, here, like this is what I got. He was like, what you gonna do? Like, that's what you think we came here? You think we came all the way to Macy's? I'm out here in the mall, Evan Turner, and you think we came here to grab you a polo and some slacks? Like, no. So we end up getting a lady.
You got the polo and some khakis.
Right. That's exactly what I grabbed. So we end up getting a lady, and She goes takes us to the suits and all that stuff, suits and blazers, and you know,
For
getting me the
sure.
whole works. So he ended up spending. He spent like $3,500, $4,000
Thanks.
in Macy's on me.
Got you
I'm
right.
still to
Got
this
you
day,
right.
super appreciative of that. He showed super love, and yeah, he got my business casual attire. He got that right for me, fresh
That's
out of
what's up.
college.
Shout
So I
out Evan
appreciate it.
Turner, man.
Definitely
That's
shout out to
huge right
E-Tips.
there. Shout out Evan Turner, because every young man may not have that experience or have that mentor or whoever that you know teach you how to tie a tie, you know, get your suits up. So shout out to Evan Turner, man, giving you that's major
Another
right
Evan
there.
Turner story. One more Evan Turner story.
For
So
sure.
he about to take me to Atlantic City to go watch a Kevin Hart show, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm at my mom's crib. He got a
Somebody
Maybach.
just said, Big T. Shout out to Big T. Big T says tell the Kevin Hart story.
Yeah, what do you know about the Kevin Hart story?
I don't know, but go ahead, talk.
This is my part about the Kevin Hart story that I want to say about E.T. Evan Turner. He came he came pick me up from the crib, from my mom's crib, in a Maybach.
Oh, Evan
And
Turner.
he left, yeah, and he left the Maybach on the middle of the street, like with the hazards on, and came in my crib. And like he was like waiting for me. I was still getting ready or something like that. So he was in there talking to my mom, but the Maybach is in the street with the hazards on. So long story short, whatever, we go to AC, we enjoy the show, Kevin Hart, great time, backstage, meet Kevin Hart and all that good stuff. But my whole thing was we just had the Maybach outside on my mom block. So the next day, everybody like, what? They like, yo, what you got going on out here? Maybach's on the block and all that. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. So that was just the story. I'm not sure what you're talking about the Kevin Hart story, but that was my thing. Like,
Yes.
Maybach on the block, like,
Crazy.
come to pick me up. So yeah, shout out to Evan Turner. But yeah, so now I'm on the team, partially guaranteed contract. I'm in training camp. I'm going through that whole process, and we actually get an opportunity. So you know how the NBA teams go play in Europe. Some certain couple teams go play like 3-4 games in Europe. So the Sixers were going abroad that year. So I got a chance for preseason. I got a chance to go to Bilbao, Spain, and Manchester, England.
Hey, pause real quick. Big T said when Kevin Hart asked about your vertical.
Oh yeah. So pretty much Kevin Hart was just saying, he was like you look like he was busting. Kevin Hart was busting on me.
He was bidding. He was bidding.
Yeah, he's like I'll probably jump higher than you. I'm like, you probably do, like, because I'm not an athletic guy. Like, you probably jump higher than me. I forget the exact rhetoric, but yeah, we was going at it a little bit. And he was like, I know I jump higher than you. Like, I'm more athletic than you. You're an NBA player. I'm more athletic than you for sure.
That's funny.
So yeah, that's what.
Well, yeah. So you said they go overseas, over Europe or whatever. Sixers?
Yeah, we got a chance to go to Manchester, England, and Bilbao, Spain. So that was a great experience as far as the travel. You know, we on a private jet. We in the NBA. We live in the NBA life.
Of course.
So that was a dream come true. And I got a story about over there, man. It's tape on this, Big Star. We playing versus OKC, right? Westbrook didn't play. Durant did though.
Okay.
Durant's my matchup. He guarded.
You was playing against the Durant?
I don't know why he guarded me. I don't know why he guarded me. Dribble handoff. I'm about to get dribble handoff. He go under. Like, I'm just going under. He's not really trying to play. I'm going under. 3. Like,
got him.
KD, like, don't go under on me. Like, I knocked that thing down.
Yeah.
So that happened. That was my highlight of
Yo, where that footage at?
Russ talking about get some, KD.
Yeah.
That's a true story.
Where's it at? Where the footage at?
It's out. I don't know. I saw it on like, if you ever had them people with the accounts, what's the account? Damn, those accounts where you got everything on there. It's like you can see any stat, any highlight from any game. I forget what it's called, but like the college coaches use
through some app or something like that, or like some college website or something like that.
It's like a portal. Where college
okay.
coaches will use it to, like, that's how they break their scout down. Like,
so it's like the college coaches version of like Huddle or something like that.
Right, but it's also pro too, so it has
pro.
Stuff
Yeah, that's next level. I don't know nothing about that, but I gotta
get you the name of it. I forget what it's called.
Please let me know.
But they got everything.
So how is it so how is it continuing to play out? You know, you with the Sixers, and then kind of how does it ultimately end up?
So I go through the whole preseason. We play all, I think I want to say like six synergy. There you go, right there.
Synergy. Got you.
Synergy. That's what it's called. Everything on there. You can find everything. You can find how many times somebody went left yesterday. Like,
Got you.
everything. Synergy. So anyway, I played the whole preseason with the Sixers. After the last preseason game, I end up getting cut. So after the last preseason game, the next day, we come in regular, like, yo, we got practice or whatever. Call me to the office. You know, we love Brett Brown. This is me and Brett Brown one-on-one. We love everything that you did for us. Believe you have a lot of potential.
Wow.
We just decided to go in, another direction. We actually are looking forward to you. We want you to play on our G League team. We want you to develop on our G League team, the 87ers. And that was their whole thing. Like, we still like you. Like, we want to just go down there and develop. So literally, the next day, my agent called me and I get an offer to go play in China.
I remember that. Yep.
So, and China's one of the best leagues in the world outside the NBA. So, literally, I was sad for about 12 hours. Like, damn, like I had a shot, I had a chance, I was right there. I'm not sure. I thought I had a chance. I thought I had a legit chance to make the team. But then my agent called me with that offer from China, and that cheered me up. That cheered me up a lot, and I got a chance to, go over there. And, of course, I was skeptical. I didn't know a lot about it at the time, but I did know it was a high level, and that, I would, get a chance to continue playing basketball.
No doubt. So what was that experience like? And then if you can, just kind of, sum up, break down your whole, overseas or, professional experience.
So, mind you, I've been in Norristown High, I've been in Temple, then I went to the Sixers. So all that's within 35, 40 minutes from each other. Everything is in that little radius. So my first time really leaving that radius, I'm going all the way to China.
Wow. So
of course that was crazy. Like, I'm over there, it's super foreign. And then China's not the easiest place to go. It's other places I've been in Europe, of course, that have been a lot more easier to adjust to. But China was the first place that I went to. And it was just tough. Nobody really speaks the language. The food is different. Basketball is pretty similar. I never had a problem with adjusting to basketball just because I feel like I have a high enough basketball IQ to be able to really adjust and play anywhere. But yeah, it was tough. It was tough being away. You're 13 hours ahead. So like when it's 8 in the morning over there, it's 9 at night here. So it's like the time is different. And you got like schedules all off. So you got like, it was just tough.
Yeah.
But I adjusted, and at the end of the day, I always was grateful that I was playing basketball. Like, you can go to, I'm going to practice. I'm going to go play basketball. Like, I don't care where I'm at. I'm on a court, 94-foot court, with other people that are playing basketball. So that was always my escape. That was always my, like, I don't care where I'm at. I'm playing basketball for a living.
Exactly.
So I was always super grateful for that. And I'm grateful for everywhere I've been and all the experiences that I've encountered. I had a chance to be in a lot of places. I played my first year in China. Then for the next 4 years, I was in Israel.
Okay.
4 straight seasons in Israel. And then I've been in the Philippines. I've been in France. I've been a couple places. I've been all around the world playing basketball at a high level, and living in different cultures, and just really having an experience of that a lot of kids from our area don't get to experience.
Yeah. So at what point did your professional? Well, no, like that chapter or that version of a professional career kind of end, and then how did you just kind of what was it like to kind of walk away from that kind of chapter of professional basketball?
So my whole thing was, I always wanted to be an NBA player. Even those first 2 years, my goal was always I wanted to be in the NBA. But what used to happen is those Europe seasons were so long, and so like 10 months you're over there, and I had offers to play in summer league and stuff like that. But by the time I got home, I'll get home at the end of June, and say a team might want me to be there like July 2nd.
Oh, an NBA summer league team.
Yeah, they might want me to be.
There were still opportunities.
Yeah, early. Yeah, like my first 2-3 years overseas, there were definitely opportunities to just play summer league, and nothing's guaranteed when you play summer league. As I said before,
Just
there's a lot of
to get
guys.
some exposure,
Right,
some
there's a
more,
lot
more
of guys that go
resume
to summer
builder.
league. There's a lot of guys that go to summer league and don't play at all.
Gotcha.
Like they just get the jersey and they just
Yeah.
get to go. So
Yeah.
I never was too like eager to do that for one,
Gotcha.
and then the Europe season was so long that if I get home June 28th, June 27th, and somebody telling me to be somewhere July 2nd, it was just like I'm gonna have to pass. I'm gonna have to pass. Like I'm tired.
Gotcha.
Like I'm
Yeah.
finally back on U.S. soil.
Uh-huh.
Like I want some of my mom's cooking.
No
I
doubt.
want to
No
see my
doubt.
nephews. So I was like, yeah, I pretty much after like year 3, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on my career in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so a crazy story is 2017. I'm playing the best basketball I've ever played in Europe. I'm in Israel. I'm a leading scorer in the league.
Wow.
My team is first in the league,
Wow.
and I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm playing the best basketball I've ever played as a human being.
Wow. Wow.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna kill here, and I'm gonna make sure I pressure my agent. Like, I know I'm gonna get an opportunity to play in summer league, and that's my thoughts. Like, all right, right here, I'm gonna give it a real try. Like, I'm gonna give it a try because I'm there, I'm maturing, my body's getting right, I'm playing at a high level.
Yep.
And then February 2017, I tear my ACL. Tear my ACL playing the best basketball I've ever played. That's the only injury I've ever had in my whole career. So I tore my ACL on February 17, and that really put a halt on the whole NBA thing. Like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just get healthy and let's continue to play basketball for as long as you can. You know, so that happened. But as you said earlier, man, everything happens for a reason. I definitely had faith. And when I got injured in 2017, that's when, you know, the development that a lot of people see now, it began when they see me start, you know, opening businesses and starting to get back with the youth and, you know, really, you know, giving back and just opening up different avenues around who I am as a person. That happened due to that injury. So that's a gift that came from it, but a curse was definitely that I was playing at a high level.
Yeah.
And really, you know, had a chance to do, you know, some great things. And still, you know, still playing.
At what point did your professional career, as it relates to, Israel, all that kind of, like after you recuperated and got yourself back together regarding the injury, did you pursue overseas again, or you left it alone after that, or what?
No, so I've never stopped playing basketball. I've been injured, but I was the ACL. I got hurt in February of 17, and I signed to play back in Israel in January of 18. So I was out for like 11 months.
Gotcha.
So 11 months with the ACL. Went right back to Israel.
Okay.
Played there. Then that's 18. Then 19, I go back to Israel again. Play a full season there, and then I go to the Philippines.
Okay.
And then this past season, I was in France. I was in the Philippines and I was in France.
So you're still currently playing professional basketball?
Absolutely, still full-time professional basketball player. Yeah, right now I'm just, you know, so much going on with COVID and all that stuff. I'm just staying ready for the next opportunity.
100%.
I'm still working out every day, 2 times a day. Probably some of the best shape that I've been in the last, you know, in my life.
No doubt.
So,
and how did TBT? Talk about the TBT experience that just happened. Talk about that real quick.
So yeah, I was in TBT with Team Brotherly Love. A great group of guys. I want to thank those guys for giving me the opportunity to go out there with them. And yeah, we just were competing. That was actually a pretty cool experience because it was the only basketball in the world going on.
Yes. All eyes was on y'all. All eyes was on y'all.
Us. And, you know, and especially playing overseas, a lot of people don't get to see all your games and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people got to see me play that haven't got to see me play in a long time. So they, you know, that was cool. We were on ESPN. It just felt really good to just have people that know that people were watching me that haven't seen me in a while, and then to perform well, it was just a reassurance to people like, oh, like, damn, like, we were wondering what Khalif. He's still doing that.
Of
So it was
course.
cool just to see all the, you know. Now this is the real social media era, so you get
Yeah.
to see all the tweets, you get to see all the Instagram. Instagram was going crazy, Twitter was going crazy. You got to see like, damn, like people actually missed seeing me play basketball, and that was pretty cool to feel.
Did you? I know you seen that that picture that I put on my Instagram page with your eyes was wide
Right,
like that.
right. Yeah, caption this. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, legendary. I mean, I think that picture, like, it really just kind of embodied just so much about you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I chose to freeze frame that. You know what I mean? Like, just your swag, your attitude, like, you know what I mean, coach, who you say guard me again? You know what I mean?
right,
That was that whole thing, man. And you was definitely cooking. You showed
right.
out, man, and that was huge right there, man. That was great right there to see you happy, see you doing your thing still, man. That was amazing. I really appreciated seeing you doing that.
Thank you.
Hey, how about this? I have a few more questions, and I just want to let the people know. Look, we have an amazing audience, man. Like, tons of people are tuned in, man. Everybody that's tuned in, what I'm about to do is I'm gonna take another break. I'm gonna save this one so we don't have to be interrupted as we're kind of closing out, and do a little Q&A with the people. Everybody, I'm gonna close this one, save it again. Everybody, come right back. It's like almost 50 y'all in here. I just have a few more questions for Leaf, and then Leaf, I'm gonna let you have a little Q&A with the people, because the people are asking a lot of good questions.
Gotcha.
People, start typing y'all questions in the comment section as soon as we come back, and Leaf, he's just gonna go, rattle off and start answering questions as y'all guys throw them at him. So come right back. We're gonna like one or two more questions of my own, and we're gonna have the Q&A with the people, and we're gonna wrap up.
Got you.
All right. Hey, y'all, we back. It's your boy Big Star Raw Sports here with my man KHALIF WYATT. Legends Week, part 3 of this interview, man. It's been amazing, man. Leaf is a great storyteller, humble young man, an amazing athlete, still currently playing professional basketball. So proud of him, man. The pride of, one of the prides of Norristown, the town of Norristown, man. I'm so proud of this guy, and, so proud of his story, man. So what we're gonna do is, I just have like 2-3 more questions, and then I'm gonna let you guys go back and forth with Leaf. We'll have a nice little Q&A. Let you guys ask some questions. So if you guys can start, typing your questions now, or just thinking of some questions to ask, for when that starts. Hey, so I just have 2-3 more questions, man, and then just like I said, at the end of the last hour, I'm gonna turn it over to the people, and especially when the audience gets nice and nice size again, let you have a nice little Q&A, some dialogue with the people. So if you can, man, just reflect on your entire well, your career's not over. Your career so far, over since, your journey so far. What has your journey taught you so far? What are some things, some themes, and some things that you've learned about yourself, about life so far through the game of basketball?
Right. So as far as my journey, it's been it's been it's been plenty of ups and plenty of downs.
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing I can say is that I at no point. All right. So out of all the downs and all the bad stuff, like all the adversities that has happened throughout my career, even early, even going all the way back to 10th grade, getting kicked off of the varsity team. I've never, in my mind, I've never seen myself as being anything other than like a high level basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really took my focus off of doing anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's throughout everything, like I always was like, what? Like my whole thing was like, what else am I like? No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be a high level basketball player. So I would just say I just stuck it out, and I stayed with it. I didn't quit. I never. So many things happened that I've seen a lot of people quit. You know, I just didn't quit, and I stayed with it. And you know, this shout out to my supporting cast, my mom, my brother, and my sister. They play a huge part in that. Uh, they helped me just to be able to just focus on basketball. They kept it so simple for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to worry about other things. I just had to worry about being a good basketball player.
Gotcha.
So I'm just I'm just grateful that, you know, it could have went a whole lot of different ways. And me personally, I'm a huge self reflector. I always like to pause time and just be like, damn, like just be thankful for exactly where I'm at right now. And yeah, I just said I didn't give up. That's why I just stayed with it, and that's the theme, just staying with it throughout everything.
Got you. Um, if you could go back, are there any things that you would change or wish that you could have done differently if you could have went back and changed some things, or you would just want everything to just kind of play out exactly how they played out?
If I could change anything, so I'm not a big on changing stuff, but if I could change anything, I would just be in super like me knowing. See, as me, I said I wanted to be a professional basketball player since I was five,
Mm-hmm.
6, but knowing that if I knew like what it means, like as far as being in great shape, having your body right, eating right, I would have been doing that stuff since I was 6, 7, 8 years old. I would have literally been training myself to be a professional basketball player. I would have been eating right. I would have been stretching. I would have been getting massages. I would have been lifting weights. I would have been doing all that stuff. I would have trained my mind early into like knowing what it takes to be a pro. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's really a lot that goes into being a pro. So to the kids that are watching, now's the time. Like, work on your game, work on your body, eat the right stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that doesn't allude to you being a professional basketball player, forget about it. Like, there's going to be time for girls. There's going to be time for partying, drinking, smoking, whatever. All that stuff that has nothing to do with you being a professional basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of it and
Mm-hmm.
just focus on your goal. Which right now a lot of kids college their goal is to go to college for free. That should be your first
Yes.
goal.
Yep.
So anything that's not really going towards that, just get rid of it.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, that leads me to my last question, and I'm about to, turn it over to the people to start asking questions. And I think the very last thing that you just mentioned was actually what I want you to get into. If you can talk directly. It's I guarantee it's some young kids watching this right now. Some some high school players watching this right now. When I upload it to YouTube, some high school, some college players, may definitely watch the interview. Talk directly to them. Give them some advice, some more keys to success, like you just alluded to, like training up your body from day one. You know what I mean? Getting rid of things that aren't lining up with your goals. Give the kids some more advice, man. Some more keys to success and all that kind of stuff.
Uh, I would just say, first of all, be a sponge. Be willing to learn. There's a lot of kids who think they know everything, who think they're 16, 15, 14, and you can't tell them that that wasn't a good move or that was a bad shot or like that was lazy. Like, you can't talk to certain kids aren't coachable or talk toable. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying be a sponge, be able to listen to anybody. I don't care who it is, and take from it what you can take from it. There's going to be a lot of people giving you advice and all that stuff, and everything's not going to be good, but you can take something from every single thing somebody says to you. So just listen, be humble, be a sponge, watch basketball, watch high level basketball. I'm talking about NBA and Europe. Watch high level, watch guys who, because people always look at Curry, but they don't look at what Curry, how many shots Curry gets up a day,
Mm-hmm.
and how early he gets up, and how many corner threes he's made this week before the game that he played. And he
Mm-hmm.
just made 7 threes in. They don't know how many threes he made that week, that
Uh-huh.
month. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into those performances that you see on TV. Even guys like James Harden, who makes everything look super easy. He
Yeah.
works on his game a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a super hard worker that nobody talks about, and he
Mm-hmm.
works on his game. So just work on your game, listen, seek advice, seek it, like call guys who are doing things that you want to do and actually ask the right questions. It always amazes me. Like I have camps and clinics, right? And I have like a pro trainer there or a pro player there. And at the end of the session, I'll say, anybody got a question for this professional basketball player, for this professional trainer? And nobody will raise their hand. And I'm like, you're a 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid. There's a professional player standing right here. Professional skills trainer. He trains NBA players. You
Yeah.
don't have anything to ask him?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I think it's like a cool thing. And I
Uh-huh.
also think it's like a social media thing too, where you can see it. You can see these guys, but you don't
Yeah.
really. I always dreamed of like having access to an NBA player,
Of
like
course.
where I can like call him. Like I don't even want to tell a story. I had a story, bro. Had a dream that I was chasing Allen Iverson down the street, like I was asleep and I was chasing him down the street just to probably ask him a question or something. Like,
No doubt. No
so
doubt.
like seek advice. Just be humble, seek advice, listen, and be humble and seek advice. That's the advice I have for kids coming up today, and just work on your game. Be intentional. Be intentional about what you're trying to do, because it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen any other way. Nobody just accidentally becomes a professional basketball player.
No doubt.
Nobody just
No doubt.
accidentally gets college scholarship, anything like that. It's all about being intentional, and making it happen.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll give you my final thank yous at the end. But just want to transition into this Q&A. So right now, people, start typing all your questions. If you have any questions for KHALIF WYATT regarding life, unrelated to basketball, high school, college, professional, anything, business, start typing your questions right now. Hey, Leaf, I'm gonna scroll through and I'm gonna just pin all the questions. So first questions right there. Brad Baker asks, with all your accomplishments, what keeps you inspired and motivated?
First of all, shout out my guy Brad Baker,
That's
Norristown
my little
guy.
bro. That's my little bro right there. I
Brad Baker
raised him. That's little
Productions,
bro.
great guy. Uh, what's your accomplishment with all your accomplishments? What keeps you inspired, motivated? What keeps me inspired and motivated is just that knowing that I can get better, knowing that I haven't gotten every single thing out of my game, and my I know I have a lot to do as a player, and I have a lot to do as a person. So I don't get too caught up in talking about accomplishments and like things that I did. Like this conversation we had, like that was a chance for me to talk about some things that I've done. But
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout I you'll rarely ever catch me talking about something that I did at Temple
Gotcha.
or even great things that I did as a pro. I'm always living right now in the right
Gotcha.
now, and looking forward to things that I know I still have to do, and things that I still have to get out of myself. I know that I still have a lot to offer to the game of basketball, and I have a lot to offer to my community, and people who actually look to me and for inspiration.
No doubt. Cameron Parks wants to know best moment of the TBT.
Best moment of the TBT, I would just say that the whole bubble experience. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We were the only basketball going on. They were doing a lot to just make sure we were safe. They were giving us the corona test. And I'm probably one of the most corona tested guys in the area. They corona tested us like 7, 8 times. So, I would just say the whole bubble experience was real. It was real unique, and it was only 24 teams there, so just to be a part of it is special. Special.
Little bro Marcus Green asks, you're still going into your 30s. What are your goals, basketball wise, and with you? What are your goals, basketball wise, and then life in life?
So my goals, basketball wise, is really just to get everything I can out of my body and out of my knowledge for the game. I just want to. I don't want to retire knowing that I could have did a little more, or I could have, you know, I could have done this different. I really want to. When I'm done playing, I want to be like, all right, I'm done. Like I've got everything I could out of me, and you know,
like no what ifs, no what ifs.
Right. And up until this point, I can say that I got to 29, and I've never been in like super physique and tip top and just on top. Like I've never been. That's just never been me. But going into my 30s now, I know how important it is to have your body right.
Yeah.
And to eat right, and to take care of your body and stretch and drink a lot of water. I know those things now. So transitioning from 29 into my 30s, just going to really try to maximize everything I can get out of my body and out of my game. And with life, I just want to keep getting better. I just want to make sure it's constant improvement. I want to make sure I'm not at any point being stagnant. I want to make sure I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly getting better. I'm constantly pushing myself to do different things and, getting out of my comfort zone. And I just know my job is to really, inspire a lot of people and to help a lot of people. And I have a lot of knowledge as far as the game of basketball goes, and just to give it to people and to make their curve easier than my curve was. So that's just what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
No doubt. My big bro, Rashid Green, Norristown legend, who brought the high socks to Norristown High.
Rock Green.
Yes, sir. Is this still a goal of yours to make it to the NBA or to play in the NBA?
I can't personally say that that's a goal of mine right now. Not that it's not realistic, but I can say that I don't really think about it. But I can say that I think about maximizing my skills as a basketball player. So in return for maxing out my skills as a basketball player, I'm not sure what 31 might look like, what 32 might look like. So I can't say it's a goal of mine, but as far as maxing out my potential as a basketball player, I'm not sure where it's going to lead.
Gotcha. Peasky1 says, where can I buy your jersey? I think, I'm not sure if he's talking about your Temple jersey or, Temple jersey.
Right. At this point, I got no jerseys for sale. I do have a sports apparel company called Marathon Sport. You can check out our website at msport.bigcartel.com. And we got plenty of merch on there, and we just preaching health consciousness, and we want people to work out, we want people to eat right, and we want people to work out. And while they're working out, we want them to wear high quality sports apparel.
No doubt. I am Stacks wants to know what pro gave you the best advice when you were coming up. I guess maybe,
so I got a funny story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Shout out to Marcus Green, right? So as I told you, I wasn't always one of the hardest workers. I wasn't always working. Nobody would put hard work as like on my top 10 of like my qualities as a basketball player. And then with Mark Green, the polar opposite. Anybody mention Mark Green, the first two things you're gonna say is he's a worker, he's a hard worker. Like he's going. So I want to say I'm in like 10th grade. I want to say I'm in like 10th grade, and Mark Green. I'm not sure how old I am. 10th grade, maybe even 11th. Mark Green comes pick me up from my house on Arch Street. It's early. I want to say like 6:30, 7 o'clock. I already really don't want to be there, honestly. In my head, I'm like, why is he calling me so early? Why are we going this early? So he takes me up to Norristown High, and we go work out. And like 15 minutes into it, I'm like dead. I'm like, I hit him with this joint. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom, man. Like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I was tired. I just remember like being ready to throw up. And from that point, I knew that it was a level of work that I had to get to be able to put in that was going to get me to the level he was at. Not just I was talented, but it was actually some real work that had to be put in for me to be able to. He straight ran right to the bathroom. He was running right to the bathroom. It was like 15, 20 minutes in, and I was done. And from that point, I really knew like, all right, I'm good, I'm talented, but you're still like, you got a lot of work to do because it's like you shouldn't be ready to throw up 15 minutes, 20 minutes into a workout as a 14-year-old kid, 15-year-old kid. So he woke me up to the fact that work is necessary to, get to your goals.
100%. Lucky Bagley wants to know what's the one thing that Temple and or Fran Dunphy taught you about basketball and non-basketball?
So Coach Dunphy, one of the most influential guys in my life from those years, from 18 to 22, 23, he taught me a lot. But his most important thing, I'm going to give him two. I'm going to give him two that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. One was respect people's time. Respect people and respect people's time. So one of my things was in college, I had trouble getting on time, being on time and stuff. If we had study hall from 6 to 8, I would feel good getting there at 6:07, knowing that I still got to be here till 8 o'clock. All right, I was there from 6:07 to 6:08. But Coach Dunphy thing was the tutor was there at 6 o'clock. You're there at 6:07. You just wasted 7 minutes of this person's life that they were devoting to you. They were devoting this 6 to 8 to you, and you came at 6:07. So you don't have any respect for that person, or you don't have any respect for that person's time. So I took that with me. Like, all right, respect people's time. Get there 15 minutes early, 10 minutes early. Be prepared. So I took that from him. And the second thing was that he instilled in my head that is so true and it stands true forever, is that it's never really about you. It's not about you. No, it's not about you. It's about the impact and everything else that's going on around you. It's not about, nobody really cares about you. It's more like what you can do, what you can offer to everybody around you. And he's a drilled out of my head, even into those senior years when I'm having those 30-point games. Nobody cares about you, Khalif. Nobody's like, they're coming to see Temple. Yeah. They're coming to see the team play, and you just so happen to be the best scorer that 30. But it's not about you. So yeah, that was cool. That was two things I really took from him.
That's cool. I think one of the last questions we have is from Lil Bro Reese, and then we'll close it out here. When you played preseason, what was your high?
I don't know. I probably had about 8-9 points, something like that. I probably had about 8-9 points. I can't remember. I never exploded in preseason to 25. Like I probably could have. I didn't get the greatest opportunity in preseason. I had DNPs in preseason games. I want to say I was like 3 out of the 7 preseason games I probably didn't play.
Gotcha. Somebody said I skipped their question. I'm trying to see what it was. Let me see. Did I skip something? Let me see. My man Ray Strickland wanted to know. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. MF Sween 94 says, "What's the future hold?" I'll pin it. What's the future hold? What's the future hold for the Owls under Aaron McKee?
I'm super excited about Aaron McKee being the head coach at Temple. I know him personally. I know his character. I know what he demands I remember him as a retired player coming to come play with us at the Powell Center. And I'm a high school kid. He's in better shape than everybody there. He's pushing us. So I know his character, and he's I'm excited about the opportunity they gave him, and I believe he's going to take full advantage of it. I'm just hoping that Aaron McKee leads to us getting more Philly kids.
100%.
Local kids. Him being a Philly guy, him being at Temple, I just hope that it leads to us getting some, top Philly guys, man. I seen Popular, if you're watching this, Temple University.
No doubt. That'll be that'll be dope. That'll be super dope. Sure. Hey, well, that's pretty much it, man. Again, I just want to say thank you so much, Leaf. You talked about time, people's time. I just want to thank you because I know how valuable people's time is. So thank you so much for spending this, almost 2.5 hours with me on Legends Week, man. Thank you so much for your insight, your transparency. Thank you so much for the gems that you gave to the younger generation. Thanks for telling your story, man. I'm sure some of these things you've probably never shared with anybody. If not, if not, I thank you for sharing them here with us on this platform, man. God bless you, man. Tons of, abundance of health and wealth. in your future, business wise, basketball wise, bro. I pray you're playing, you know, in your 50s, dog. Still playing professional ball somewhere, man. Still doing what you love to do for as long as you want to do it, and for as long as God allows, man.
Appreciate you. Appreciate
man.
you, Big Star. I don't know if everybody knows. I know they know you for Raw Sports, Big Star. I
No
don't know
doubt.
if everybody knows, like, this is, like, that's Big Star. Like, we just did an interview with Big Star, and that was a real dope experience for me. And man, you keep doing your thing. You keep pushing forward. And you've been setting the bar high for a long time. And I'm proud of you. And I want you to keep going as well.
No doubt. Lastly, man, just want to get your reflection. Oh, it's two things. What I've been doing is I'm gonna start ending the show with, because when I put the flyers up that I created, when I put the flyers on Instagram and Facebook, like the day before the interview or whatever, people start commenting. You know, oh man, you know, Leaf Wyatt, that was my guy. They kind of start reflecting and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm gonna start doing is going through and reading off some of those comments that people said about you when they knew you were going to be a guest. So that's the last thing. That's how I'm gonna close it out. But also, if you can, just kind of reflect. You know, give me your feedback on this whole Legends Week series. You know, you've been tuning in. You've seen some of the previous guests. Two things. You know, what are your reflections on the series that I created? And you know, who were some of the previous guests that you may have appreciated, heard some things from?
This is dope. This is definitely a dope platform. The Legends Week is, for me personally, I even got to learn about a couple guys who I didn't know before, or maybe I heard their name but didn't know their story. I know Kareem Towns. That's most fresh on my mind because it was yesterday. But I heard so many stories about him being a great scorer and being a legend, playground legend, and a public school legend. So that was cool. And yeah, he just giving guys opportunity to really, you know, share their story and give some insight. My favorite personally was Karan Burton.
No doubt.
He had a really good interview, and you know, he was just being himself. He was just being himself, man. It was beautiful to see, man. And he, you know, he's a good guy and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been tuned in, man. I've been tuned in, listening to these guys' stories and just learning, and you know, following you as well. You know, just everything that you got going on. So
appreciate it, man. Hey, well, you know, I appreciate that feedback. That means a lot, man. So we're gonna end it on this note. I'm gonna just read you four comments that people had left between Instagram and Facebook when they, you know, heard that you want to be a guest. Sutton Donnell said Sky had a big heart and a big game to match. That's what he says. S. Golden One says he left it all on the floor in 2008 championship game against Chester. Played very well despite the tough loss. He played till the end. Andrew DuPont said didn't have the biggest speed, but always got to the rim. Great court vision, great feel for the game, and great body control. You know, feedback you said about yourself. And Chocolate Boy Wonder said one of my favorite players. He most definitely got robbed by the league. He's better than 60% of the trash in there.
shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
Keeping it real, man. So, hey, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the night, man. Legends Week. And I told Keisha, I said when she came in the night, because I got my little studio set up in the bedroom, right? That's where I do my interview. She came in and said, "Oh, you doing another interview tonight?" I said, "Yeah, babe. It's turning from Legends Week to Legends Month. We going all month."
Right.
So listen, I'm right back tomorrow. Trust me, I'm letting everybody know now. Leaf, I'm right back tomorrow night, dog, at 8 o'clock.
Who you got tomorrow?
I'm gonna put up the flyer.
Okay.
I'm gonna put up the flyer as soon as I end this and save it. I'm gonna send you. Matter of fact, I gotta create the flyer and I'm gonna send it to you.
Right.
It's gonna be dynamite tomorrow, dog. It's crazy. Last night had Rab Towns. Tonight, KHALIF Wyatt, and tomorrow, just trust me. Tomorrow's gonna be one of them Jones, man. I got another goat on tomorrow. So if you're talking about learning, somebody you heard about, legend, like tune in tomorrow. You definitely gonna learn a lot.
Say no more. I'll be tuned in.
All right, appreciate you, big dog. Love you, man. I'll see you soon. All right.
All right, love you too, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep.